Coming to you live from Kenmore, New York, it is another edition of high school football in Western New York as the Jamestown Red and Green hit the road and visit the St. Joe's Marauders. We are coming to you live on WNYAthletics, and we would like to thank our sponsors for today's contest. Damon University, a private, non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona, they're committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 million. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Logistics Plus of Buffalo for all of your transportation needs. Full truckload, LTL, dedicated, and drop trailer moves. Logistics Plus Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email buffalo@logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs. G&G Fitness Equipment, a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order for takeout. Open Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. through 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Cortland, they stand out as one of New York's top public universities, a medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. We'd also like to thank today Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy, recognizing the top linemen in Western New York football, Lewis & Lewis PC, located on 37 Franklin Street in Buffalo, New York, and Colvin Cleaners, located on Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore, New York. As we welcome you here to St. Joe's Collegiate Institute, Jamestown Red and Green from Section 6, hitting the road to take on from the Monsignor Martin, the St. Joe's Marauders. You are watching right now on our YouTube page, Western New York Athletics. Hi, everyone. I am Joe Krause. Rick Tom is my partner once again for a second straight week. Our producer is Jeremy Becker, and Mike Goodenberry and Mario Hall are our camera operators for this one. And Rick, we had a lot of fun last week. I think, oh my goodness, is going to be your catchphrase, but what a game here today. St. Joe's and Jamestown. Chase Bonta off to another strong start. St. Joe's in a QB battle right now. What are your thoughts as we get this game going?
Man, it's exciting to be here, Joe, and sun is coming out. I was just driving Kenmore, New York, and you think of Ken West playing at that great stadium. St. Joe's, you can't get a parking space by the school. Football is in the air. I'm fired up. This music's got me going. I'm ready to lay a hit myself.
St. Joe's coming off a 28-14 loss to Cardinal Hayes last week down in New York City. Head coach Mike Corona spoke a lot about that. And for Jamestown, off and running after a runners-up finish to Lancaster last year at the stadium. 38-7 win over Williamsville North, and Chase Bonta, 22 carries, 142 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Week 1 in the books. St. Joe's is about to kick, but that early matchup, Rick, Section 6, Monsignor Martin, how important is that for both sides to get this game on the schedule?
It's going to be a blast here, Joe. A lot of teams, we'll talk more about this at length as the kick goes in for a nice touchback. That's exactly what Coach Corona wanted. It's just exciting. It's great for Western New York football. A lot of these guys are going to be watching this game, obviously representing the Publics and the Catholics, but it's going to be a tussle here today, Joe.
So the Jamestown offense hits the field first and 10 on their own 20-yard line. This is Jackson Gray making his second career start under center. Only a sophomore, 66 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions last week, and the 31-point win against Williamsville North. Temperature in the low 60s, going to the mid-70s today as Jamestown goes first down, a carry to the senior Chase Bonta. He is bottled up by the defensive line, Rick of St. Joe's.
Well, and this is what is going to be very interesting to me, Joe. St. Joe's started with a powerhouse, Cardinal Hayes in New York City. Jamestown had a more traditional start with Will North. We got hurry up, so I'm going to let you take it back.
Jackson Gray in the shotgun. Trips to the left. Gray looks. He connects the outside with Nate Sanchez, the senior. Gets close to the 30-yard line, and he is knocked out of bounds. Looked like by Darmaine Ubiles Jr. for St. Joe's.
Great linebacking crew for St. Joe's here, and this is going to be a 3rd and 4. And that's what Coach Lang really wants to do, kind of protect the sophomore quarterback with easy throws, especially early.
3rd and short for the red and green, and then we have some movement in the trenches.
To me, the preliminary is that St. Joe's jumped, which is going to drive Coach Corona crazy. Last week against Cardinal Hayes, they definitely had their chances, and then they had a couple brutal turnovers, gave up a big play on a 3rd and long, and against good teams, you can't make mistakes like that. So, first down for Jamestown.
First and 10 on the 31-yard line. Jackson Gray again in the shotgun. Quick handoff up to Chase Bonta. Bonta has some daylight, and he gets to midfield. A good run once again for Chase Bonta. He's finally brought down by Cameron Chin, a former Lockport Lion. A big run for Chase Bonta.
Chase Bonta is Connolly Cup nominee last year. This Jamestown up front is all seniors coming back, except for the right tackle is a junior, but he played last year, so Coach Langry is going to lean on them early.
Gray again in the shotgun. 90 seconds going by in the first. Bonta, another carry, gets about 4 or 5 yards on the carry, brought down by a host of Marauders. The first to get there, Stone Rozak, number 44 for St. Joe's. Head coach Mike Crow spoke highly of him earlier in the week, just that presence, pound-for-pound linebacker. It's going to bring up 2nd and, we'll call it 6 at the 46. A motion man. Here's the handoff ball. Almost loops and then recovered by Jamestown. Going to be about a 1-2 yard loss. St. Joe's Rick was ready to take down Jericho Thagard.
Yep, and that's a jet sweep. Coach Lang really doesn't like something. As he's going out there, someone's shaking up a little bit. But they have a nice 1-2 punch, a little bit different than last week, Joe. We got the power running back in there. Oh, hopefully this is not too serious, but it does not look good with the helmet off right away. But we got the big guy in there, Chase Bonta, obviously, and he's a rugged runner. And then we have the freshman, Alaric Richards, who has been really a nice surprise for the coaching staff, and he brings a little change up. He's not going to pound it. He's a little bit hits a hole differently. So it's going to be thunder and lightning for sure for Jamestown. And like I said, I cannot tell who's down, but this does not look good, too good.
Early stages of the first quarter. Jamestown and St. Joe's. Western New York Athletics, dedicated to covering high school sports in Western New York. Section 6 in Monsignor Mart since 2016. As the Jamestown, that is Eli DeLeon, who is a little shaken up, able to get a little bit of a limp as he walks towards the red and green sideline.
Yep.
But Western New York Athletics, we're on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as well as our website, WNYAthletics.com.
Coach Langworthy is going to be, hopefully that he's okay. De Leon's a 3-year starter for them. He's a captain. He dominates on offense and defense, but it looks he's walking around. They might just tape it up. Hopefully he gets back in there. Looks like 71 is in for him, Joe.
That is Nicholas Alardo now taking his place.
6'1", 190 junior.
Gray looks towards the sideline. Gets the call from Tom Langworthy, now in his 18th season in Jamestown, 114 wins. Gray rolls out to his left. He throws, and making the reception is Nate Sanchez at the 40. He gets hit hard by Owen Kaczynski, one of the top secondary men here in Western New York.
Yeah, Kaczynski's the real deal. One of our tri-captains. He goes both ways. We're gonna say his name a lot. They got a favorable mark, but now are they going to have to – they're marking a 4th down, Joe. So they just got to get inches. Let's see what they do. They do have an inverted bone package.
And now an official's timeout. Just trying to get some clarification on if it's fourth down or first down.
Yeah, the original spot, it looked like he had the first down, and then where they marked it just shy of the 40. But, okay, now we got a whole different play call.
First and 10 at the 40 for Jamestown. Handoff going towards the right is Sanchez. He gets to about the 36 and then brought down by a pair of St. Joe's defenders. A big-time play led by, on the defense, Damone Harden, number 20.
And Coach Langworthy likes that. That's a positive play on first down. Protects the young quarterback. You can see the easy throws he completed. That was a big catch in first down there on third down. You're going to see some bubble screens and just get him some confidence before he has to throw downfield. But he knows he's got to throw it downfield.
Jackson Gray is now on the sideline as a direct snap to Chase Bonta. He gets about a yard and then brought down again by the St. Joe's defense. Stone Rozak leading the heart of that defense once again.
Yep, you're seeing a little wildcat, little old school. Put Bonta right there in the gun, give him the ball and go. And JOES is up to the occasion. Those two inside linebackers are going to be around the football a lot. It's going to be tough sledding for sure.
3rd and 5 at the 35. Jackson Gray is back on the field at quarterback. Chase Bonta, the lone man in the backfield. 2 receivers towards Gray's left. Now a motion man in Sanchez. A handoff up the middle to Bonta. He crosses the 30, gets to about the 28-yard line. Chase Bonta, a Connolly Cup finalist a year ago, keeping the chains moving. And then brought down by St. Joe's David Amuka on the stop, about a 6-yard gain here.
It looked like a nice little split zone there, but they're running right behind Andre Graham, 77, and then the replacement there, 71. Coach Langworthy's showing some confidence in Alardo. He just loves this offensive line, all veterans. Coach Langworthy coaches the O-line now. He says it's the best group of kids he's had in some time.
Enough for a first down at the 29-yard line. Handoff to Bonta, goes towards his left, gets about 3 or 4. Brought down by Harden. A couple of other veterans on this St. Joe's defense. Jamestown continuing to roll here.
I love tendency breakers. Coach Langworthy had the tight bunch to this side. Last week he was running a quick option out here, and now today he just slams it up inside with Bonta for positive yardage.
2nd down and 4. Jamestown on the opening drive started on their own 20. After the touchback from St. Joe's, Gray looks towards his right. Pass is caught by Jericho Thagard. He gets close to the 20-yard line and then knocked out of bounds by Amuka. About a 3-yard gain. This is, I believe, going to set up 4th down here.
Third
3rd and 2.
Yep, 3rd and about 2, and there's your bubble screen, Joe. It's nice, easy throws. He's right on the money. You know, it only got him a couple yards, but more importantly, building the young kids' confidence. And I like that number 15, too. You know, you got old Thurman Munson, Bart Starr. He's throwing it back old school. So 15, you don't see that a lot, but I love it. Jack Kemp.
3rd and 3 at the 22-yard line. Gray takes the snap through the pressure, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 37. Counted a sack for Damone Harden. St. Joe's getting the big play on defense to stop the drive.
Big play. They brought a lot of pressure there. It looked originally like they were going to set up a screen pass, but I think they just overtook them with pressure. And sometimes the advantage for Coach Langworthy, he likes to see where the defense is setting. Sometimes they'll pull out of that front and just play zone behind. That time they brought the house, and the young QB had a little trouble with it. So we got 4th and long.
12-yard loss on the sack by Damone Harden, the 5'11", 200-pound veteran for St. Joe's. We have a timeout on the field with under 6 minutes to go. We'll step aside and take a short break and come right back on Western New York Athletics.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
or an efficient personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
So timeout was called as we're back on Western New York Athletics. Chase Bont already with 35 rushing yards. Jackson Gray has completed all 3 of his pass attempts for 11. It's now 4th and 15 for Jamestown after the Hardin sack. Gray looks towards his left. The high pass is caught by Sanchez. Moves upfield to 30. Gets to 25. Still on his feet. And gets to about the 23-yard line. Jamestown getting some yardage.
Yep, but they got a penalty for too many men on the field. And I think that's going to be a snafu Coach Corona's not going to be happy about because they're coming off a timeout. You can't come out there with 12. And that's exactly what JOES did. So let's see what happens here. I thought the ref was going to let it go, to be honest with you, Joe.
Illegal substitution penalty on the defense.
So an illegal substitution penalty called against St. Joe's. So a replay, 4th down. The ball is now spotted after the penalty. It's going to be 4th and 10 on the JOES 29-yard line.
Still the same area of the call sheet, not a huge difference there. Dead ball penalties. So we'll see what they got here. Something outside. They almost got on that play.
Well, you can see the top of your screen, number 5, Jada Foreman. One-on-one. Gray rolls to his right, though, on the run, and almost making the catch. It is incomplete. Looking for Jericho Thagard. That is a turnover on downs. Jamestown, the opening drive, ends at the JOES 29 as we have 4:54 left in quarter number 1 and no score.
And that was a nice play by Cameron Chin. He was going to give up the nice 8-yard completion and then just tap him out of bounds. As it played out, Jericho didn't come up with the pass. St. Joe's ball, decent field position, but I think Coach Langworthy will be happy with moving the ball on that first series. And obviously St. Joe's didn't let him score. Ben, but don't break there.
This is Braden Manns under center to start this one. He looks for St. Joe's first pass. It is caught. Spinning away. Getting upfield. Getting close to the Jamestown 36-yard line. Big play to start off here.
Absolutely. It looks like number 15. Their numbers are a little bit hard to read on that one.
Giovanni Strander with the catch all the way to the Jamestown 36. Here's the next snap, a handoff through the traffic, still keeping the feet moving, going to the outside. Owen Kaczynski with the touchdown from 37 yards out. St. Joe's strikes first.
Wow, 2 big plays. Coming off, that stop is even going to look bigger now to take away a little Jamestown momentum. But how about we got a young quarterback coming in here for St. Joe's as well. Braden Manns, they go 4 verts. He finds the open seam, hits him wide open, breaks a tackle, and then they come to the money play, and they just caved in the whole that whole side of the field. O-line for St. Joe's is getting it done early.
Special teams unit now out, and it is good. So St. Joe's strikes first with the early 7-0 lead. Owen Kaczynski, the junior halfback and defensive back this season for St. Joe's, and Jay Ostrander with the big play as well, the junior in the slot, making the play. It is 7-0 St. Joe's over Canisius as we have a quick out-of-town score update. It is CSP on top of Falconer, 26-6. So we'll keep you up to date on the other scores. So it was Jay Ostrander with the big run to set up that score from 37 yards out for Owen Kaczynski. Ostrander with a touch trick, and then Kaczynski. That seems to be the bread and butter, if you will, if St. Joe's wants to have another big run this year.
Absolutely, and something they didn't get to do last week was run a lot of offense. Cardinal Hayes had the football most of the game, so you could see, they're off to a good start, and that built some confidence playing a heavyweight last week. Coach Corona went back to the film room, made some corrections, get some new guys in there, and you see the results early, Joe.
Getting ready to kick this off, Carter Petrie, who made the extra point, and that is going to be his second touchback of the day. St. Joe's head coach Mike Corona, in his 6th season, he led the Marauders to their first Monsignor Martin final trip last year, the first time since 2017. Dealing with an injury this week, but still in good spirits, excited about his team early on. What did you get a sense when we talked to Mike before?
Yeah, Coach Corona is very familiar with the New York City league down there. That is where they end up for the Catholic Championships. They've had their way with Buffalo the last couple of years, and Coach Corona wants to get his St. Joe's squad down there. So week 1, they got a little taste of it.
Jackson Gray in the shotgun. It's a quick handoff, similar to how the opening drive began for the red and green. Another carry for Chase Bonta.
Yep, they're just going to keep pounding away, run some clock, and, that's a good defensive stop there for St. Joe's early. And now Jamestown's going to be chasing the sticks a little bit. But like I was saying with Coach Corona, he was at St. Joe's by the Sea in Staten Island, who was also in that league, a smaller school. Cardinal Hayes plays in the largest league in that division. So he's familiar with New York City football.
2nd and 9 for Jamestown. Gray in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left. It's a handoff again to Bonta. St. Joe's only gives him 1 yard to move forward. It's going to be Harden and a lot of St. Joe's Marauders at front 7 again, giving Jamestown headaches here.
Yeah, their front 3 is huge. Right now is what's happening. And Jamestown, that experienced line, is having a little bit of trouble getting underneath them and moving them as much as they did early in that first one. So pressure's going to be out here. Let's see what Coach Langworthy has up his sleeve.
3rd and 9 at the Jamestown 21-yard line. St. Joe's with the early 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Motion man is Cameron Monroe, and now we have flags on the field. False start against Jamestown.
Yeah, coach isn't going to like that at all. But we can see Ransom Malcolm, for example, number 75, is a big man, 6'3", 287. So you really got to get underneath him, and then you got those fast linebackers filling behind him. It's tough.
Jamestown now on its back door, 3rd and 14 on its own 16-yard line. 2:50 and ticking to go in this first quarter. Gray rolls out to his right. Gray throws this a wild pass upstairs. It is almost intercepted by Owen Kaczynski. The jump ball play as Gray was trying to connect with Jericho Thagard on the near sideline.
That's a dangerous throw. You have their best D-back back there, Owen Kaczynski, who does not get beat. They had the safety over the top. One thing I'd like to see, set your feet up and give your player a chance. Coach Langworthy wouldn't want him throwing on the run like that, I don't think, but you could see his arm strength.
Now Jamestown in punt formation with the sophomore, Drew Bloomquist. One man back to return for St. Joe's. A high kick in the Kenmore sky, taking a couple of bounces, and Jamestown drops the punt. St. Joe's will start at the Jamestown 46-yard line with 2:32 left in quarter number 1.
Man, this is going to be very important for the Jamestown defense to step up here. 3 and out is very dangerous. St. Joe's got all the momentum, and now right now Jamestown's like, do they believe?
St. Joe's now starting beyond midfield on this drive. 1st and 10 on the 46. Kaczynski, the lone man in the backfield on the left hip of Braden Mans. Mans in the shotgun, a handoff to Kaczynski. Finds room on the right side, keeps the chains moving, keeps the feet moving, past the 35. It's another strong run for the veteran Owen Kaczynski, getting into Jamestown territory to the Jamestown 34.
Running behind Lucas Bowman there, 6'3", 330. So St. Joe's got some size up front, and they're running behind it.
12-yard gain for Kaczynski. Owen gets the call again, cuts back, has the open green, gets inside the 15-yard line, and then brought down by Jericho Thagard. It's going to be close to a 20-yard run, 19, check it, 20 once again.
Yeah, big hole there, and Coach Corona's just probably going to run it again. Coach Langworthy's seen enough. Taking a timeout, and we're going to discuss this.
Timeout. Sorry, Rick. Timeout on the field. 2:05 left in the first quarter. St. Joe's with a 7-0 lead over Jamestown. We'll be right back on Western New York Athletics.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
St. Joe's knocking on the door, already up by 7. 1st and 10 at the Jamestown 14. Mans in the shotgun, looks towards his left. He fires a dart inside. It is broken up on the outside. A great heads-up play from Angel Martinez, number 18 in the secondary. Now 2nd down.
Yep, nice little play action pass there. They put Rosick in the wing, and they run him back as part of a counter tray look. Ran a little boot pass, and nice big play by the Jamestown defense there. 1st down.
Mans with the snap and handoff. Kaczynski trying to pop outside. He cannot. He is brought down by the freshman, Alaric Richards, but we do have a flag, Rick, on the field.
I didn't see where the flag came in, where it looks like it might be a hold. I don't know, but that was a great play by the freshman, stepping up, forcing it inside, and that's what Jamestown's probably going to have to do is, change up the pressures. That's one thing Coach Corona said they like to do a lot of is stemming, blitzing, changing up their fronts. They're going to have to be a little more aggressive because right now St. Joe's is getting it done up front.
Face mask penalty against Jamestown. So St. Joe's moves closer to the goal line.
Move the ball inside the 10.
Yeah.
2nd down coming up for St. Joe's. Handoff up the middle. About a 1-yard gain for the Marauders.
Stacking them up inside, and I think St. Joe's is going to just run between the tackles here, but they're getting the push up front for sure. Jamestown's just got to get under the pads and dig in there.
Call this 3rd and 3 inside the 10. 90 seconds to go in the 1st. St. Joe's continues to get about a 1 yard, and Chase Bonto at the stop.
Yep, another nice play there down in here. Jamestown's showing some perseverance for sure. If they can hold them to a field goal here, that would be wondrous on this 4th down.
This will be 4th and 3 at the Jamestown 7 as we're approaching the final minute of quarter number 1. Mans goes under center. Mans trying to get the hard count. Mans now on the QB keeper. Gets some help. The ball is loose in the end zone. It's a fight for possession. Waiting for the official call. Jamestown thinks they have possession. And Jamestown has possession. What a sequence of events.
Yeah, that is so tough, Joe. His first snap. What do we got?
Looks like it just popped out of Mans' hands there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. He's coming in off. You make the substitute. He's probably a better quarterback under center. That's what Coach Corona's, but he's just coming off the bench. His hands are a little sweaty. Got popped in there. It looked like they had a good surge and tough turnover. Huge play for Red Raiders. And St. Joe's has been dominant. Let's see if they can just level the playing field here a little bit, Jamestown, before the quarter ends.
Jackson Gray in the shotgun. 2 men in the backfield. It's a handoff to Bonta. Trying to make his way upfield. Tight defense once again. He gets stopped down by Amuka. Going to be about no gain as we're winding down here in this first quarter.
That's a guy that was all over the place last week, Joe. He played at Frontier. David Amuka, 6'3", 215. He can really run. He can hit. He is a really great high school player. Yep.
Down to 10 seconds to go. Gray in the shotgun. Down to 2 seconds. Jamestown gets the throw off, but it is incomplete. Jamestown trying to connect with Nate Sanchez on the outside, and that concludes our first quarter of play. St. Joe's gets on the scoreboard first. Owen Kaczynski with the 37-yard scamper for our 7-0 score. We'll step aside and come right back on Western New York Athletics.
Management, Curry's Restaurant.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
And welcome back. Start of the second quarter. St. Joe's with a 7-0 lead over Jamestown. Joe Kraus, Rick Tom with you on the call. Big thanks again to our producer, Jeremy Becker, and our camera operators, Mario Hall and Mike Goodenberry. This is going to be 3rd and 10 for Jamestown. Chase Bonta has been bottled up so far, under 40 yards rushing. In contrast, Owen Kaczynski, we mentioned about the 37-yard score, 70 yards rushing so far in this one. Let's see what Jamestown can do to start the second quarter. Going right to the left now on your dial as Gray rolls out to his right. The pass is high on the far sideline. Jada Foreman, the intended receiver. Tight coverage in the secondary from St. Joe's.
Cameron Chin.
And that's the second time, Rick, that we have said his name here tonight.
He's a great player, only a sophomore. Really nice tight coverage. Coach Langry's getting Stone pressing the corner a little bit because right now the defensive line, both lines for St. Joe's are getting it done. That time it was Downey, Creighton, and Riley in there. 42 Billies, all big guys, 245, 263, 195. Right now they're getting it done defensively.
4th down, a line drive punt from Bloomquist, taking a couple bounces. Still rolling at the 35, and then it will stop at the St. Joe's 31-yard line. So Jamestown with 3 drives so far, all punts, and now St. Joe's looking to capitalize again.
Yep, and a great punt at that. They flipped the field here a little bit, but more importantly than that, Joe, is the punts are one thing, but that's 2 3-and-outs in a row. So St. Joe's defense is starting to impose their will a little bit, and Jamestown needs a big stop here just to stop the bleeding, kind of.
Both teams now with 2 drives apiece. St. Joe's, they fumbled on the goal line late in the first quarter. Braden Manns in the shotgun once again. Here is the snap and just a...
There we go.
About a short gain, about 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 at the 35. Manns throws. It is incomplete. Looked like St. Joe's was looking for Aiden Gunther on the outside. The pass was behind him. It's now 3rd and 6.
Yep, and Coach Corona understands. He's got a young team. Last year they graduated 30 seniors, so this is a young squad he's trying to mold together. So that fumble into the end zone, right there was a little miscommunication. The quarterback thought he was going to hitch up, and he ran the vertical route. So little things like that, they're going to iron out, and they're going to get better. Youth, there's only one way to go, Joe, get better.
Braden Manns, a transfer from Frontier, threw a touchdown pass last week in the Cardinal Hayes season opener. Here's Manns, a high pass. It is incomplete. Looking for Gunther again. Aiden Gunther, one of the veterans on this team, a junior, and St. Joe's now has to punt.
Yep, and that's what Jamestown really needed, that big time, Joe. But 3-and-out, right back at them. Now they're going to get the ball and get back. They can't get behind the sticks. As we can see, he wanted to protect the quarterback. He's probably throwing a little bit more than Coach Langworthy wants to right now, and they got to get back to that. Let's see if Jamestown starts giving the ball to the freshman a little bit as a change of pace. Alaric Rich is who we're looking for, number 4. They got Jericho deep as a returner, another good special teams threat.
Thagard back to return. Here is the punt from Petrie. Takes a couple bounces, keeps on rolling close, and then finally stops at the Jamestown 25-yard line. Carter Petrie having a great day in the special teams.
Yeah, amazing. Both great punts there. We got the battle for kickers of 34. Walter Payton's, both punters wear 34. Jamestown's got a little story on their kicker we'll tell later. But this is a big series, Joe. Like I said, let's see what they're going to get back to the ground and try to get something positive. Right now, St. Joe's is getting underneath them.
First and 10 at the 25. Gray in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right. Here's the pitch outside to Banta. He has some movement. Gets some great help from the right side of his offensive line and dives forward past the 30. A big-time run to start this drive.
That was a big-time run because St. Joe's was ready for that tight bunch, little quick sweep option pitch, and that was Banta just making it happen. And that's a huge pickup. What a great play by the senior. So now they got second and manageable.
Just over 10 minutes left in the first half. Still a one-score contest. Jamestown and St. Joe's, the two teams met for the very first time a year ago. It was a 41-30 win for the Marauders as Banta keeps the chains moving here, gets close to the 45-yard line.
Much needed first down. And you can see, Joe, they're attacking the perimeter. Between the tackles, they had a little success early. St. Joe said enough of that. Coach Langworthy's stretching them in different directions now. He's like another professor over here. You could see him with the hand signals, and he's massaging that defense and finding where to attack.
First and 10 at the Jamestown 43-yard line. Hand off towards the right side. We're going to pop out here for Jamestown, but he has bottled up on the carry. Was Richard Stone Rozak with that tackle.
And that's Alaric that we're saying. You can see he's got a little giddy up, but that's St. Joe's defense. They're fast. Those linebackers cover ground. We saw that against Cardinal Hayes. They come in droves, and you don't have much time. Alaric's going to figure out you don't have much time to bounce around against this defense. Just get vertical and get some yards.
Mike Corona said that Stone Rozak, when we talked to him earlier this week, hits like an absolute truck. It's now 2nd and 12 as Gray goes down the near sideline, and it is intercepted. No, he stepped out of bounds, says the official. Cam Chin thought he had the pick, but he stepped over the white chalk.
Man, that was close. And they got the replay going right now. It was really close on that replay. I didn't see the replay, Joe, but to the naked eye, it looked like he's in. In high school football, you only have to get 1 foot in. And, I would never question officials, Joe. I mean, but that was a tough one for sure. But try to stretch the defense, like we said. You might not want to pick on that guy. He's been all over the place, Chin, like we said earlier. Great athlete. But you were talking about 44, Stone Rozak, and he took out Coach Corona this week. Coach Corona told us he had unfortunately a little nicked up. Coach Corona was out in one of the drills, and you get a shot on the head coach. Stone is just making his name known a little bit, but he's a physical guy.
3rd and 12 at the 41. Gray over the middle, bottled and incomplete, just in and out of the hands of Thagard, who got drilled, surrounded by 3 defenders.
Number 12, Deion Cheatham.
Yes.
He was right there. It was another sophomore safety. Woo! Jamestown got away with a turnover there. Might not have been too bad, but looked like Cheatham had a steam. He would like that one over again. Now it's a little bit of a field position.
So another punt as Drew Bloomquist comes out. Under 9 minutes left in the first half. A rare Section 6 Monsignor Modern crossover as Bloomquist sends us high. Couple bounces at the 35. And it rolls back. We'll call this a 21-yard line, and that is where St. Joe's will start. Speaking of St. Joe's, Rick, took a look over the last 20 years, 2004, St. Joe's is 13-3 against teams from Section 6, and one of those 3 losses was against one of your teams at North Tonawanda back in 2008.
Well, we were one of the teams that really liked to play the Catholic teams for the same reasons Coach Langworthy does. It's a non-league game. You want to play the best, the best available talent. You do measure, you show your kids what we can do, and it's a pride thing. You're representing the whole section, and sometimes we got pasted. We played Franny's a couple years. They got after us pretty good, but that was a good game for NT.
St. Joe starts this new drive on the 21. Kaczynski makes his way upfield, gets some help from his teammates, gets out to the 40, knocked out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Owen Kaczynski keeping the chains moving, but we do have a flag on the field, so this one might be coming back here.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but Coach Corona was telling us he feels he's one of the top players in Western New York. And from what I've seen the last 2 weeks, I agree with him. You could see the speed. It's kind of sneaky, and then he just accelerates out of it. Great athlete defensively. He calls him an Ivy League type of player, as he is a student as well. So a little break for Jamestown here. Back to Jamestown, Joe. Think about that first down play. It was -2. When you get behind the sticks against the St. Joe's defense, you're going to be too predictable. So that's what happened to Jamestown. So now St. Joe's 1st and 20. I'd go right back to the ground, wouldn't you?
St. Joe's has had a lot of success on the ground so far, especially with Kaczynski. And we'll check with our stat guy at halftime as St. Joe's still trying to keep the chains moving. Not a lot of space. Not sure if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Kaczynski, or check that, Glenn Echeverro with the carry.
Yep, and that was Hodgkin on defense. It looks like they're trying to tighten up De Leon. You don't know how he's able to operate on that ankle. But that time they definitely had Kaczynski's number.
Mans takes the snap, looks towards the near sideline. It is caught by Aiden Gunther, his first catch today, but quickly tracked down by Nate Sanchez of Jamestown. Going to be about 3rd and long here.
Yeah, that penalties are tough, Joe, to overcome. Early season, you don't want them at all, but definitely in the early season, something you got to overcome. Again, they're very athletic, very fast, but they're still young, so you can't have that.
Calling us 3rd and 18 as Mans fires. It is incomplete over the head of Echeverria coming out of the slot. It's now going to be 4th down.
And I think Jamestown will take that, don't you, Joe? He had all day to throw. But, again, you got 2 young quarterbacks, so he's a little bit less confident than normal. Jamestown had nice coverage in there. Now they're going to get the ball with really good field position. So, despite the fact St. Joe's has been getting after him pretty good this whole half, Jamestown can make something happen here with the ball anticipated to be on their side of the field.
Jericho Thagard, the senior, 5'7", 150-pound wideout, is standing at the 42-yard line of St. Joe's. Here is the high punt from Petrie, taking a little spiral, and then ricocheting back all the way as St. Joe's able to dive on this at the 33-yard line with just over 7 minutes left.
That's an example of that ball takes some funny bounces, Joe. What a spectacular punt. He got all of that. And then it just bounces backward like -10. Meanwhile, Jamestown's punt rolled the other 20 yards. So, just the breaks of the game. St. Joe's is going to have to get after it here because Jamestown's going to feel good with this field position.
Best field position of the day for Jamestown so far. The opening drive, the red and green were stopped at the St. Joe's 29-yard line. Since then, it has been punts out of their own side of the field from here. Hand off to Bonta. He gets drilled hard at the line of scrimmage. A big-time play coming from Darmaine Ubiles Jr.
I'll tell you what, St. Joe's the lead blocker on that one. Monroe, who plays wing, 24 Monroe is usually lead. He got stood up, and that broke up the whole timing of that play. St. Joe's is getting after it.
Darmaine Ubiles Jr., one of the players on the defensive side, the head coach Mike Corona spoke highly of. Well, we got a chance to talk with him earlier this week. 6:45 and ticking. 2nd and 10 at the St. Joe's 33. Jamestown, a pitch to the right to Bonta. Bonta then throws out, and it is incomplete. Almost a halfback play, looking to find Jada Foreman.
Yeah, that was it. St. Joe's was not fooled at all. They had good, decent coverage. I mean, he got by the cornerback, but the safety rotated over. I think if Bonta put some air under that might have connected. But again, St. Joe's aggressiveness kind of threw off the timing of the play, and he just kind of had to chuck it real quick. But Coach Langworthy dabbling, trying to find some magic here. Right now, not having a lot of consistency offensively.
Gray in the shotgun. Jamestown looking to tie this up at 7. Delayed handoff. Now Bonta pops out to the left, gets to the 30, still on his feet. Goes over the 25-yard line. A good run once again for Chase Bonta. We mentioned he was a Conley Cup finalist a year ago. He was named the honors in week 1 last week to start the 2025 campaign. This is going to be 4th and inches here at the 25-yard line. Here's a quick handoff to Bonta, and before the run continues, whistles on the field.
Timeout, I would imagine. I would hope. Yeah, that's what I thought. St. Joe's was trying to run out a big man out there. Number 75 was coming in. They were not set defensively. Coach is just like, okay, we got to take a timeout. 4th and 1. This is a big play. And it did not look like they had a goal line defense in there either. So great timeout by St. Joe's to get reset.
So we are at 6:05 remaining in the first half. Jamestown trying to capitalize. St. Joe's will start the second half with possession. But a back and forth affair, a good one, a great crowd on hand once again here at St. Joe's Collegiate Institute in Kenmore, New York. The cheerleading squad is here as well.
So it's going to be 4th and 1 here, Joe. And now St. Joe's does have their defense set. Just get out there and line up and let's go. If Jamestown could get this, any type of points here, they do have that good kicker we were talking about, Evan Maloney, who also plays on the soccer team. Just to get points on the board would be huge, but they got to start with this first down. Inverted bone.
4th and 1 at the Joe's 25. A handoff to Bonta. St. Joe's with a quick hit. Let's see if Bonta has enough.
Man, that is really going to be close, Joe. And they brought in their other linebacker, Luis Diaz, and just went up inside there, and St. Joe's was not having it. It really depends on the spot. Think we got that NFL technology, Joe? With the chip, what do they call that in the NFL? Where they measure it?
Yes, they measure the sticks, yep.
They don't have that here in Kenmore? St. Joe's does not have that technology yet?
Well, it does appear they have the chain gang, the old-fashioned chain gang that's around in Western New York. Men and women volunteering their time across high school football. And now here is the chain gang.
Best view in the house, right on those chains. I know several of my buddies, they volunteer and they want to be right where the action is. But I've seen some chain games where I think they sharpen the bottom of those things, and if they don't like the coach for the opposing team, might get too close to your foot.
Bonta is short, and St. Joe's has possession. Another 4th down stop for the St. Joe's defense, Rick.
Big stop. I mean, Jamestown just scrambling for every yard. The size of St. Joe's, they are just having, with this experienced O-line, they're having trouble getting under them and moving them. And that's where the game is always won and lost, is up front.
So as we are past the halfway point of the second quarter, St. Joe's still with a 7-0 lead over Jamestown. For those just joining us here, Western New York Athletics today, Owen Kaczynski, the lone scorer from 37 yards out at the 4:27 mark of quarter number 1. Braden Mann's in the shotgun again. Dekes out of the pressure. Mann's on the move, moves upfield, spins his way past the 25, and then brought down by a host of red and green defenders. Kalen Hodgkin was the first to get to him.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great blitz right there. And Bonta, I don't know how he didn't sack him. He looked like he ran right by him, Joe. I don't know if someone just chipped him at the last second, but great job by the Joe's quarterback pulling up in the pocket.
Mans looks to the outside. It is incomplete. Looked like Cam Chin was the intended receiver there.
Yep. Coach Corona's doing the same thing. He's got a young quarterback. Try to get him going with a nice little slant route, give him some confidence after hitting that big vertical route in the first play of the game. So big play here, 3rd and 7.
Brendan Keel is the other quarterback on St. Joe's roster, another underclassman. Head coach Mike Corona said it's going to be a two-man race until someone runs away with it. Braden Mans with the pass. It is caught by Owen Kaczynski. Makes his way upfield past the 30, tries to get close to the 35, and brought down by Jamestown's Hodgkin once again. About a 7-yard gain here.
Yeah, it looked like Jamestown had him bottled up, and Kaczynski just put his foot in the ground. Great cut, got vertical, first down. That was all Kaczynski. The middle screen, nice call by the offense coordinator over there for St. Joe's, first down.
Hand off to Kaczynski. He is still on his feet, gets to midfield, goes past the 45 and brought down. Nick Sanchez with the tackle from behind, but Owen Kaczynski with another big-time play. Mr. Marauder with another big one.
Yeah, great play. He's got to be over 100 yards now. That time they put Rozak out, spread out the field. You think with a big guy like that, a big blocky back, they're not going to run up the middle? Sure enough.
1st and 10 to Jamestown 43. Marauders go to the ground with Glenn Echeverria. Looks like he got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Jamestown now has a player shaken up. So we have an injury timeout. That is number 57, Isaiah Watson, the senior, one of the big defensive linemen that head coach Tom Langworthy spoke highly of, Rick, when we talked to him earlier this week.
Yep, one of the captains. So De Leon, one of their other captains, already twisted his ankle. Now we got another one going down. So these guys are both two-way players. And when you're playing big bodies like this, you want to be at full capacity, and they're not feeling too good right now. So, again, hopefully this one isn't bad, but you never know. Jeez.
So we're down to 4:38 left in the second quarter. We'll step aside for a short break. Actually, my apologies, Jeremy just popped up. So Watson able to get back to the sideline here.
Yeah, it looks like his neck got stiffened up a little bit. The way he's holding himself, the trainer's going to evaluate him, see if he's okay. But you always get a little nervous. It's a great sign that he walked off, though.
Second and 8 for St. Joe's, wearing their dark maroon uniforms today. Jamestown wearing the road whites with red numerals. Braden Mans in the shotgun. He looks, now takes this himself, goes up the middle to the 40, gets to the 36, and then stopped. Brought down after the QB keeper. Big time play from Foreman as he gets to the 36.
Yeah, nice change. That's the first time we've seen Mans carry. He can do that. He can scramble. He got up and hobbled a little bit, but he looks like he's going to be okay.
3rd and 3 now for Joes at the Jamestown 36-yard line. Under 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Mans, it's a handoff to Kaczynski, and Jamestown was ready. What a big-time play from Luis Diaz.
Yep, and he's been a great defensive player. Coach Langworthy touted him when we spoke with him. Last week, he had 3 tackles for losses and a sack. And he's also a great wrestler. You can see those wrestlers are excellent tacklers. The old takedown, but he just shot the gap. Great call by the Jamestown coaching staff. And St. Joe's O-line's getting it done. He got Tyler Harkin up front. Jackson Bloom, just to name a few, the right guard and center. So they're not as big as the tackles are, but they've been able to move up to this point.
It was a big 4-yard loss on the stop from Luis Diaz. Carter Petrie out to punt again for St. Joe's. Here is the high punt. Fair catch called and ricocheted off of a red and green player. It's a skirmish. Jamestown appears that they have possession.
Wow.
Jamestown has it.
Wow. That's like a coach's nightmare right there. you got to be brave to return punts. And he went up there nicely, got the fair catch, and then you just got to step in there and make the catch. He kind of got caught in no man's land where he misjudged it and couldn't get away fast enough, but didn't hurt him.
So after the fumbled punt, Rick, St. Joe's back on the field with its offense, 1st and 10 on the Jamestown 23.
And, with 3 minutes left, normally Coach Langworthy's going to be, hustling down the field. Right now, I think he just wants to manage the clock here, see if he gets a couple firsts down before he gets real aggressive.
And before the next snap, we have flags on the field. False start against Jamestown.
Yep, that's a nightmare for Coach Langworthy. He's not a 1st and 15 team this year. St. Joe's is going to start looking for timeouts here if they can get a stop or a negative play. Let's see if St. Joe's defensively is aggressive.
2:57 left before the break. Gray in the shotgun once again. Now 1st and 15 on the Jamestown 18. One-score game. St. Joe's up 7-0 as the red and green go to the ground once again. And the Marauders able to make the big play. And who else? Rick Stone Rozak on the tackle once again.
Yeah, they are a dynamic duo for sure. David Amuka and Stone Rozak. That time it was Amuka that blitzed. He took up 2 blockers, and then it was just cleanup time for Rozak.
Gray in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left and right. Gray fires. It is caught along the near sideline by Thagard. He has some open daylight going down the sideline to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown Jamestown. From 81 yards out, Jamestown is now on the board.
Unbelievable. We go from saying that St. Joe is going to call timeouts to try to get them in there and just misjudged by the defensive back there, and then he just made a little bite, and he used that speed to get right down there. Was that Jericho, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Jericho Thagard, the senior, able to get the score for his squad. Thagard, that was his first career touchdown at the varsity level. And now, coming on for the extra point is Evan Malonia, soccer player as well at Jamestown High School, continuing that trend of kickers and becoming football players. This time it is blocked by St. Joe's, but the red and green do have some points on the board, trailing 7-6 with 2:13 left to go.
And that's why you play the game, Joe, right to the last minute of the half. St. Joe's has definitely been having the upper hand this whole half. Everything looks in control, and then a big play by Jamestown. They're right back in it. Evan Maloney is only playing football, Joe, because of 65 Joe Perry. Coach Langworthy realized he didn't have a kicker this year. He said, guys, we need a kicker on this team. Anybody know anybody that can kick a ball? And Maloney, I know he didn't get that one through, but Joe Perry brought him to practice, and Coach Langworthy was definitely surprised, recognized him as his former neighbor, right? He knew him as a little boy. Ironically, he's coming, and I think he kicked a field goal last week, if I'm not mistaken. So a nice little find, good little story. Coach Langworthy owes Joe Perry a candy bar.
And he told us that he owed him a candy bar.
I think he should get him something bigger than that, but, it's just me. We'll see. But in any event, you got 2:18 here. We're going to see what St. Joe's is going to do here with their young team, if they're going to be aggressive or not.
Maloney getting ready to kick. Maloney with a line drive to the up man of St. Joe's, making his way to the 30, getting ready to pop out. Marauders able to get the big hit. The ball is loose on the field, waiting for the call.
That was Monroe with the pop. And are they saying targeting here, Joe? I don't know if they're going to call helmet to helmet or something. The Jamestown coaches do not look happy. I don't know if they're going to discuss it and see what the call is. I just know that was a pop by Monroe. And St. Joe's last week, they ran back the kickoff right after halftime to put him back in the game for Hayes. It looked like he had a seam there, and then Monroe just stepped in, and that was a statement. The sidelines is fired up.
Officials are still discussing the last play A reminder, coming up at halftime, our West York Athletics halftime report will break down the highlights from opening half number 1 and get some scores from week 2 around Section 6 in Monsignor Martin action. This is a lengthy discussion right now, Rick.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call because, it's a bang-bang play, right, Joe? Yeah, it looked like, to me, looked like a hard hit, and then sometimes the ref, they've been taught so hard as referees to get the head out on contact. Coach Langworthy, that's what his argument is going to be. Okay, after discussing it.
So Jamestown has
the flag.
They have possession. So Jamestown possession. It was a good return from Davion Becker before he returned it. We are down to 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Looks like a shoulder-to-shoulder interaction, and the ball popped out from the hands of Davion Becker. Hopefully Becker is okay. I believe he went to the sideline, still trying to double check, but Jamestown now going to take over after the fumble, trailing 7-6. And before we get the next play off, sideline warning against St. Joe's potentially. There's a lot of discussion. Head coach Mike Corona is up top in the left due to his injury. His assistants are down on the field in the action.
Yeah, they're not happy about it, obviously, because they don't get the call their way. It's a bang-bang play. The replay kind of showed it was shoulder-to-shoulder, big physical play. Football is still about hitting, Joe.
Gray in the shotgun. He looks on the near sideline, throwing up a big catch. It is almost intercepted by St. Joe's. Jamestown looking for Thagard, trying to connect for a second score, but great defense from St. Joe's.
Yeah, and actually I think Thagard made the great defense on that play because he had to go up and break it up. St. Joe's definitely, they do not want to give up anything. Coach Langworthy goes right after the young corner. A little slip up the previous series, and he's got 2:04, second and long.
Jackson Gray again in the shotgun, threw his first career touchdown pass on the previous drive. Rozak with the stop against Chase Bonta. About a 2-yard gain, and Rozak there right again.
Yep, and you can easily, St. Joe's defensive coordinator is doing a great job. They're keying on Bonta. Bonta's just fighting for every yard. He's had his moments, but nothing major. And Jamestown's just trying to wear on you, but here we go with 3rd and 9. 3rd and 8 about.
Approaching 90 seconds left before halftime. Gray back, and it is incomplete, just out of the reach of Cameron Monroe, trying to make the one-handed grab. It is now going to bring up 4th down, Rick.
Tough play. Great call by Coach Langworthy. Monroe's obviously a hitter, good lead blocker from that wing position. They slipped him out. He was wide open. Sophomore just got to take another second, but he did have pressure from up top by the defensive end.
And now, go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to say exactly what you're going to say. Now they're looking to pin him back. Let's see if St. Joe's looks like they're going to come after that bad snap last time.
Drew Bloomquist getting his payday so far, as now we have movement in the trenches.
Undisciplined. All football coaches talk about discipline. Coach Corona talks about, he preaches it. That's his staple for this program, doing things right, building gentlemen. How do we talk? How do we act? Do your homework, Do not jump off sides when you're going to get the ball back. And that's all right. Like you said, it's young. They're going to be teaching and moving forward. So big play.
So a 4th and 8 turns into a 4th and 3 at the St. Joe's 37-yard line after the encroachment. Jamestown trailing St. Joe's currently 7-6. 1:29 to play. Great contest right here on West York Athletics on a sunny Saturday afternoon in Kenmore. Gray looks towards the sideline, gets the call from Tom Langworthy, who has had a bevy of talented quarterbacks over the years, including Trey Drake a couple years ago. And now some movement and a timeout called by Jamestown. We have 1:29 left here in the first half.
Coach Langworthy, I love the chess match, Joe. Did you see what he did with the dummy count the first time? Just find out which linebacker is going to be blitzing, how they're going to play him on this 4th and 3. Dummy count again, and then took the timeout. So a little gamesmanship within the game. A lot of fun here this afternoon.
What's maybe the mindset on this play for both teams here, Rick?
Well, to me, you got Bonta, but they haven't been able to run tackle to tackle. Sorry, they're not going to risk that. So it's going to be something on the perimeter. Last time they did a little play action. They haven't had much success with the bubble screen on the outside. Possibly that middle screen we saw from St. Joe's earlier. But Coach Langworthy definitely has something up his sleeve. And it looks like 3 yard, 4th and 3. It looks a lot farther down there when you got those linebackers staring across from you, 22 and 44. Man, they're a handful. And then you got your extra beef up front, defensive line. So
Here we go, 4th and 3 at the 37. Gray looks towards the near sideline. The pass is caught moving upfield as Bonta gets a yard, maybe 2. Chase Bonta with the big play. It's enough for a Jamestown first down.
that was a cool call. He had trips up top, trip swing to the top, and he slid Bonta out. And he knew he would have man coverage on the backside, wide open. Good open field tackle, by the way, because sometimes those are dangerous on the sideline.
4-yard gain, 1st and 10. Fresh set of downs at the St. Joe's 33. It's a handoff to Bonta. He pops his way to the outside. Ball is loose as he was going out of bounds. And now we have a flag thrown from the backfield.
I missed what the flag was. I was more interested in how much he gained on the fumble.
Well, the penalty's going to go against Jamestown here.
Well, they still have plenty of time. The trouble is when yards are tough to come by, and now you're going back 10 for this drive. Bontas looks a little shaken up or mad at himself. Either one. I'm not sure, but he's shaking off right now.
Well, we got a chance to talk, Rick, with the Jamestown coaching staff pregame. And they said that Chase Bonta, he's the type of kid that just wants to get better. You don't need to teach him how to be good. He just wants to go out and do it.
He's just an old school football player for sure, Joe. Loves it.
Over 2,500 career rushing yards as Gray throws. It is incomplete at the feet of Nate Sanchez. Chase Bonta needed 25 yards coming into this one. He has surpassed that. And just an unbelievable career with Jamestown. Incomplete pass. Going to bring up, we're going to call this 2nd and 20 here with 1:03 left.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on Jackson when it's a predictable passing down. That's given Jamestown a little bit of trouble. It's done a little bit with the short, safe plays, and but he hit that one little slant and goes for a touchdown last time.
Gray looks near sideline. It is caught by Thagard. Tries to spin away. Gets close to the St. Joe's 30, then brought down by Owen Kaczynski.
Nice adjustment by the St. Joe's coaching staff. They realize they're going to Thagard on the hitch. That's how he broke the touchdown. Why not put the senior on him? One of their best players, and that's where the matchup is right now.
40 seconds left before the half. Gray takes the snap on 3rd and 8. He looks, goes over the middle, a jump ball near sideline. It's intercepted by St. Joe's. The Marauders looking to return this down the sideline. Deion Cheatham Jr. with the interception knocked out of bounds at the Jamestown 40. What a play.
What a great play. Again, predictable with they're trying to go to Thagard. Great coverage. The safety was over the top. Jamestown did well to get him out of bounds because it looked like he had some room there, and sometimes those plays your offensive line are not usually the best tackles on the field. So Jamestown could get lucky just to get that. Could have been a pick 6 very easily.
Deion Cheatham Jr., one of the talented sophomores that head coach Mike Corona has to work with, able to get the interception, ending what was one of Jamestown's best drives of the day. Mans in the shotgun. Mans now moves upfield, dekes away from one defender, tries to get out of bounds, and he does, just past the 40-yard line as we have 20 seconds left to go.
Coach Corona talked about his new varsity quarterback right here. This is a good experience for him, Joe. Took a good look, had nothing downfield, not only got upfield to get a couple yards, but got out of bounds more importantly.
Second and 8 for St. Joe's at the 40. Mans takes the snap again, takes himself, QB keeper, trying to get to midfield. He has stopped 2 yards shy. A big tackle from Luis Diaz as we now have a timeout called by the Marauders with under 10 seconds left to go.
Yeah, that time, Joe, a designed QB draw, try to make something happen, get some easy yards upfield. Probably took a little bit too much time, but 12 seconds, time for maybe 2 plays. Again, St. Joe's working this. They're going to need this down the stretch somewhere. You always want to be working on your 2-minute offense. And Jamestown the same, 2-minute defense. They got to work on that as well. So St. Joe's is probably feeling like maybe we can pop something. You saw what happened with Jamestown. But this game it's kind of a weird game, right, Joe? Kind of what we had last week. You got a more experienced Jamestown team against a young, big, athletic St. Joe's team, and kind of you could see some of the youthful mistakes St. Joe's is making. Keep Jamestown. Jamestown will not go away. This program is way too prideful. So, a lot of football to be played. Great music here at St. Joe's.
A little Metallica action.
Drop kick Murphy's before the game.
Yes. Throw to the outside. It is low and caught. Making the catch is Aiden Gunther. St. Joe's trying to move the clock down to 3 seconds. Marauders trying to spike this, and they do. The horn went off. There might be 1/10 of a second left here.
I saw time on there. We got a good, honest clock man here. Usually that hometown clock might move a little quick, but I think they're going to get a second on there. Buffalo Bills. Clock guy might have been working the Bills game last week. We got the second back. In that situation, Joe, you probably just let the pass drop, because you're not going to be able to advance it.
And now the officials just said that is the end of the first half.
They ruled it, and, we're at a Catholic school, Joe, so we're doing the right thing here in Kenmore. St. Joe's, they got the values going. Some of the fans weren't too happy about it, but that was going to be a long shot anyways for St. Joe's. So no big deal. They're going to regroup and find out what they're going to do the second half.
St. Joe's with a 7-6 lead over Jamestown, a 15-minute halftime, as we would like to thank once again our sponsors here on Western New York Athletics, Steeman University, Richmond Vona, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, G&G Fitness, Wingnuts Buffalo, SUNY Cortland, Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy recognizing the top linemen in Western New York football, Lewis & Lewis PC, located on 37 Franklin Street in Buffalo, New York, and Colvin Cleaners, located on Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore, New York. We're going to take a halftime break. St. Joe's with a 7-6 lead over Jamestown. We'll be right back on Western New York Athletics.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? to defy age, or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do. Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Are you an AD struggling to keep up with the social media needs of your teams? Check out Box Out Sports, a platform used by colleges and high schools all across the country. It's a true plug-and-play system where in less than 30 seconds, you have access to over 1,000 templates that include your colors, your logos, and your information to highlight your student athletes. If you're interested in learning more, go to boxoutsports.com today.
And we are back here at halftime. St. Joe's with a 7-6 lead over Jamestown. Joe Kraus, Rick Tom, and the entire crew with you on Western New York Athletics. We are streaming live here on YouTube today. It's a great crowd. Jamestown and St. Joe's going head-to-head. They faced off last year, and it was a close contest, 41-30 win for the Marauders in Week 2. And once again, these two teams clash here early in the season. There was only one scoring play in the first quarter. Owen Kaczynski struck first with a 37-yard touchdown run for St. Joe's at the 4:27 mark. That was after Jamestown marched all the way down the field, Rick, and were stopped on the 29-yard line. Owen Kaczynski cashes in. The extra point is good. It was 7-0 St. Joe's until the 2:13 mark of the second quarter when Jamestown went to the air and Jackson Gray connected with Jericho Thagard down the near sideline. 81-yard touchdown pass. Thagard saw the open daylight down the near sideline. The extra point from Evan Maloney is no good, and that is where our score stands. 7-6. St. Joe's in front of Jamestown. A lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of plays on special teams, a couple of big-time plays on the secondary, especially the blocked punt during the second quarter. But where do you stand? What are your thoughts? What's the litmus test here?
Well, it's kind of an odd game. You know, there's not really a great flow to it. Then you got a turnover here or there. It's kind of an ugly game on both ways. It feels like St. Joe's is carrying play, and now we look at, and all that matters, the only stat that matters, Joe, is the scoreboard 7-6. as you alluded to, Jamestown is battle tested though. This team, predominantly, obviously, they're predominantly seniors up front. Last year, they started the season 2-4, and those are major growing pains. And Coach Langworthy hasn't lost that many games that early in the season in a long time. They're resilient. The kids were motivated. They had great attitudes last year as juniors. And so then they go on a 4-game winning streak. They upset Bennett, took Lancaster to the wire in the finals, the sectional finals. So it's a real building year for this season. And how many public school coaches are willing to take on a perennial powerhouse in the Catholic League in week 2? And Coach Langworthy wants that challenge, and I give him a lot of credit for it. So they've been stumbling around here, but at the end of the day, they're there, and they just got to make some plays here and get behind that O-line.
We have some halftime stats from Jamestown at the moment. By the way, shout out to your son, Rick, Sam, for being with us today, being our stat guy here, as Jackson Gray, 6 of 16 for 104 yards, a touchdown and interception. Chase Bonta held to 64 yards on 15 carries, had a nice 4-yard catch as well. Jericho Thager, 3 catches for 94 yards and the score. And defensively, Angel Diaz, 4 tackles, 1 for loss. Chase Bonta with 4. So the names that we talked about a lot for Jamestown, Rick, stepping up big.
Absolutely, and we knew what we were going to get with those guys for sure. You're talking about our stat guy, Sam Tom. This is how kind of the relationship with Jamestown and St. Joe's transpired. The freshman football program is so big for some of these better programs around. And Jamestown not only has a freshman team, they have 3 modified teams to feed there. So St. Joe's always plays Jamestown on the freshman level. Sam played a little running back in COVID year. Limited success, so went right to cross country, as you know, track. But football's a cool sport, so they brought these 2 schools together. And St. Joe's, they want to play anybody on their schedule. They go to Canada, they go to New York City, anything for some competition.
Well, as we await the St. Joe stats, let's take a look at some earlier scores from around Section 6, going back to Thursday. Iroquois with a 40-20 win over Depew. Grand Island behind the Dominator, Dom Nucci, the fullback, 3 scores and a 58-7 win over North Tonawanda. South Park with a 19-12 win over Lakeshore. Those were the Thursday scores. As we get the St. Joe's stats in here, Rick, Braden Mans, 4 passing for 58 yards, 4 carries for 18 yards. Owen Kaczynski, we've mentioned his name plenty, 6 carries for 92 yards in that score from 37 yards out. Aiden Gunther with a pair of catches. Also, Jay Ostrander with a 44-yard catch. Really just some nice plays offensively. And then the defense, the big players stepping up. David Amuka with 6 tackles. Stone Rozak with 6 tackles, a big tackle for loss. And also Dion Cheatham Jr. with the interception. So those are the stats, Rick, from St. Joe's, the big players stepping up.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about last week because we come into this contest kind of unsure what St. Joe's had. They played really well against Cardinal Hayes. And what I don't know if many people understand, they played in this thing called the Heroes Bowl, which was a triple header at CBA Albany. And they had Summers High School playing Iona Prep. Summers High School I never heard of. Locally we haven't heard of them, but they've only been state champs 3 years in a row. Cardinal Hayes obviously played St. Joe's, and then it was CBA versus Monsignor Farrell. So it was kind of cool, Lynch in the City to New York. It was the Heroes Bowl for all military and then 9/11 families, honoring them. So it was kind of a cool little tournament they were in. Like we said, Coach Corona just wants to play games and get his kids better. He'll take on anybody.
Got about under 3 minutes left in this halftime break, and then they'll likely tack on another 3 minutes. We have a lot of scores from Friday, Rick, to go through. Dunkirk with a big 49-point win over Albion, 55-6. Wilson moves to a big win, 34-0 over Cattaraugus. Little Valley, Chautauqua Lake, Westfield Brockton now 2-0 with Coach Harper, a 42-0 win over Portville. West Seneca East moves to 2-0, a 48-20 win over Cheektowaga. JFK with a big win over St. Mary's. Medina moves to 2-0, a 48-29 win over Alden. Randolph with a 30-point win over Allegheny Limestone Hinsdale. Gowanda Pine Valley with the shutout by 20-0 over Silver Creek Forestville. Olean in a close one over Maryvale, 27-26. Star Point Spartans bounce back with a 35-7 win over Newport. McKinley with a 66-14 win over Amherst. Williamsville South and Coach Licata with a 29-7 win over Pioneer. Clarence takes down Sweet Home 28-13. Lancaster in a squeaker last night against Orchard Park, 41-33. Niagara Wakefield wins big over Frontier, 42-14. Williamsville East, a 27-0 shutout over Hamburg. The big game that was the big chatter, Rick, Eden North Collins with a 63-62 win over Maritime Tapestry. Newfane over Franklinville-Elkottville, 36-12. Southwestern Frewsburg over Fredonia, 41-6. Washington Massillon with the shutout over Bennett, 35-0. And Salamanca over Springville, 35-7. We have some games going on as well this afternoon. Of course, St. Joe's Jamestown on Western New York Athletics. We also have West Seneca West and Kenmore West. East Aurora Holland taking on Lackawanna. Hutch Tech Lockport underway as well around halftime, as also Falconer, Castaneda Valley Maple Grove over CSP. 63-62 Eden North Collins. What a game.
Those defensive coordinators cannot sleep tonight, I'll tell you that, Joe. That's an unbelievable score. Don't forget, Canisius is on the road down in Ohio,
yes,
Ironton, Ohio. Yeah, that was a 7-hour bus ride. I did happen to talk to them, so it'll be interesting to see. Speaking of state champs, they won at the highest level, so they got their work cut out. Franny's is home today to the Canadian school. The name escapes me. So we got, and that's Saturday night. So there's still a lot of high school football to be had, but 63-62, that's crazy.
Eden North Collins against Maritime Tapestry, two teams that just go head-to-head, as it's a big win.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in Lancaster last night, but it was girls volleyball. The Legends took out the Sharks from Sacred Heart on volleyball. The football game affected my parking a little bit, but when it's Orchard Park in Orchard Park in Lancaster, huge crowd, great venue for football last night. And that's who these Jamestown Raiders are trying to get ready for, right? This is a non-league game. Let's sort some things out, okay? Maybe our offensive line is going to have to get after it a little bit more, because their next couple weeks are going to be really telling you what's going to happen as far as league play starts for them. I believe they end up with Lancaster next week.
Yes.
Lancaster at home, Orchard Park, and then Bennett. The next 3 weeks for Jamestown, they're going to figure out, okay, who's going to be at the top and in that playoff seed come late in the season.
7:05 p.m. kickoff next Friday for Jamestown hosting Lancaster. Then a 2 p.m. kickoff on the 27th, as Rick said, at Orchard Park, and then that big one against Bennett on October 3rd. And on the flip side, Rick, for the St. Joe's Marauders, where they go from here, some people might be asking. They'll be on the road next Saturday against St. Andrews. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff. And then the big rivalry on September 27th at Canisius, a 2 p.m. start. Always a classic rivalry, no matter the sport, but especially on the gridiron.
Yeah, great, unbelievable rivalry, Canisius St. Joe's. Some of the best friends might have went to each school, but on that day they are not friendly at all, for sure, Joe. I think that St. Andrews is in town tonight at Franny's. I believe that's the case. So, St. Joe's, last year they got that upset win in Franny's in the semis. The Catholic schools, there's a lot of rivalry, a lot of hatred out there, so those are physical ball games. So both these teams, and the double A's obviously the same way, both these teams are going to be wanting to get their teams ready for the playoff push. That's for sure.
Again, right now on the NFHS Network, we mentioned about the contest elsewhere going on this Saturday, September 13th on the NFHS Network. West Seneca West taking on Kenmore West. That contest began at 2 p.m. So we have a lot of contests, and then coming up, the fun continues from your friends at Western New York Athletics on Monday. We have field hockey at 7:30. Lancaster visits Williamsville North. That game is on the NFHS Network. Then a big girls soccer showdown in the Niagara Orleans League. The Roy Hart Rams visit the Wilson Lake Women. A special start time of 6:45 p.m. on the NFHS Network. Wednesday boys soccer, Lafayette visits iPrep at All High Stadium at 6:30 on NFHS. We also have our big shows, the High School Football Weekly, starring Frank Wolf and Tom Prince, coming at you every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And we have much more football action to come to round out the week. Again, Western New York Athletics, we are on YouTube as you are watching this contest right now. My name is Joe Kraus, along with the coach, Rick Tom. Big thanks again to our producer, Jeremy Becker, and our camera operators today, Mike Goodberry and Mario Hall. It is all getting in the swing of things, Rick. We got football, volleyball, soccer, and girls swimming. It's all coming to a head.
It's exciting. I'll tell you what, the biggest thing is you just want kids participating in sports. That's what ties them into their school. That's what ties them in academically. Obviously, wellness is such a big thing right now in physical fitness, so any sport you play is just great. Research has shown if kids are participating in sports, they are going to be more successful in life, and their grades are going to be much better. And, football, we think, is the ultimate sport, but everybody play whatever you want. Swimming, cross country, soccer, you call it all. I don't know how you know all the rules, Joe.
It's a lot to keep track, but it's fun. Speaking of fun, we got to thank our sponsors once again as we start the second half. Damon University, Richmond Vona, Logistics Plus of Buffalo, G&G Fitness, Wingnuts Buffalo, SUNY Cortland, Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, the Trench Trophy recognizing the top linemen in Western New York football, Lewis & Lewis PC, and Colvin Cleaners. Big thanks once again to all of our sponsors for helping present this broadcast to you and elsewhere during the fall season in Western New York as the Marauders with the first possession and the opening kickoff getting just past the 30. And now, Rick, let's see if St. Joe's can get this going, holding on to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, the biggest thing for St. Joe's, no mental mistakes here, no penalties, no silly turnovers. Just keep the playbook simple, go with what's been working so far, and run behind that offensive line who's been able to move them so far.
To the 33-yard line, an 18-yard return for Chin. St. Joe's first.
So after the return from Cam Chin, St. Joe's offense takes over 1st and 10 on their own 33-yard line. Mans with the handoff. Marauders making their way upfield. Kaczynski pops out to the outside, gets to midfield, still on his feet. It's going to be a foot race down the sideline. Kaczynski at the 10. It's a touchdown for the St. Joe's Marauders. Owen Kaczynski, his second score, this time from 67 yards out.
Man, did he have another gear, Joe, going down that sideline. I had to scan back and make sure there was no penalty flags down. Coach Corona is relieved. Obviously, he got after the boys. He said, okay, here we go. We're running this. And Katie barred the door, Owen Kaczynski into the end zone.
Not even 30 seconds into the new half, and Owen Kaczynski finds the open daylight, goes down the sideline. Head coach Mike Corona spoke highly of him, and that's an understatement when we got a chance to talk to him, as here is the extra point attempt. It is online from Carter Petrie. St. Joe's responds with a bang and now have a 14-6 lead with 11:40 to go in the third.
That is an absolute nightmare way to start for Jamestown. Did not see that going down at all. Coach Langler, he's out there not happy with how they lined up, where the angles are. A lot of things happened on that play, Joe, but the bottom line is St. Joe's O-line got after it. Huge hole. Kaczynski looked like they had an angle on him, and he just outran it, shifted another gear. And tough start for Jamestown. It's perfectly what the doctor ordered for St. Joe's.
Owen Kaczynski with an impressive stat line on just 7 carries. He now has 159 yards and the 2 scores for St. Joe's, trying to get a home opener, first home contest win here.
Kind of what we saw last week.
Yep.
Canisius, you're trying to get other guys touches, Joe. You got younger players. You want to feel them confident. You got a young quarterback. You want to throw a little bit. Sometimes just give the ball to the senior and let him do the rest.
Petrie now ready to kick. Petrie with a line drive. It is going high. And once again, a touchback for Mr. Petrie.
Well, the special teams coach just absolutely loves that. When you can get the ball in the end zone, to me, is a huge advantage, especially at high school football. When you get some threats back there, you see a lot of squib kicks like we did last week, and then they get the ball at midfield. Here, you're backed up, and that kicker is a huge advantage, especially on kickoff.
Jackson Gray under center, as we mentioned, 6 of 16 for 104 yards. A touchdown pass to Jericho Thager, just his second varsity start. And to start this new drive, it is Chase Bonta. Gets about a 3-4 yard gain on the play.
Amuka again, Joe. I mean, he puts a thump on you, too. You don't see Bonta go down like that on just, he runs through tackles at the high school level. Amuka brings some thunder. You could see the hit from up here. Coach Langworthy, same thing. Let's get back to the senior. They had a little bit of success, early. So he's got to just try to stay out of predictable passing situations, what I'd say the second half.
Hand off to Bonta, finds space along the left side of his line, and then brought down. Stone Rozak in on the action, as well as Deion Cheatham Jr.
And Amuka.
Yes.
it was the three of them. They are fast. That dynamic duo is unbelievable. Those linebackers can really run. It looked like Bonta had a crease, and they just swarmed him. After a nice game, though. 3rd and 4.
Good movement on the offensive line. Again, Watson and Perry and the new center, Gavin Ford, for Jamestown, as Gray is in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right. Gray now sends the motion man in Thagard. It's a handoff up the middle to Bonta. He crosses the 30. Should be enough for a first down as Jamestown keeps this moving.
Big first down. I love the deception Coach Langworthy has. They hit him with the jet sweep. One not successful, one successful. But those little jet sweeps loosen this play up. They run jet motion. Linebackers just fly out 1 second, and then they hit Bonta behind it. First down. Nice play.
Gray in the shotgun. Hand off again to Bonta through the traffic. Gets about a 1-2 yard gain, and then Stone Rozak along with Marquand Hutchins in on the stop.
You're getting some new names in there, Joe, but again, Rozak is around that football. That time they went quads, ran it to the weak side, and to not much success over here. They're on the ball here, Joe. Coach Langworthy, but he's not hurrying up. He's getting their breath, taking their time. He wants to stretch the game, keep the ball away from them, control the ball, survey the defense before he makes his call.
Delayed handoff. Here is Thagard moving along the right side of the offensive line, getting close to the 37-yard line, and now the whistles come in. Thagard with the big run, getting some help from Eli DeLeon especially. Ball now on the 38.
Well, I'll tell you, you could see there's some Jamestown pride there. St. Joe's had the jet sweep, pretty sniffed out, but just hustle. Offensive lineman playing to the echo of the whistle, moving upfield. They are able to get an extra 3 yards there just on hustle, and now they got a 3rd and 3.
Manageable 3rd down for the red and green. Another handoff to Bonta. Spins his way, gets past the 40, gets to about the 43-yard line. It's another first down for Jamestown. Deion Cheatham Jr. again on the stop.
Rugged run by Bonta. He's a stud. He is going to be a sore young man tomorrow. He's going to hope it's a good sore. Right now they're down by 8, but that goes down as what, a 4-yard carry, but that's a physical run. Good football play.
4 or 5 yard run. Now Bonta getting a breather. Fresh set of downs for Jamestown. Just over 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. It's a handoff up the middle to Alaric Richards, the freshman. Gets past the 45 to about the 46-yard line, and then stopped down quickly. Brought down by Hutchins as well as David Amuka in on the action again.
Amuka's going to have like 20 tackles. Him and Rozak, they're all over the ball. That form, again, Coach Langworthy, the professor, he's got quads. It's like a quad wing set. Then they bring the wing back, counter backside. Nice little gain on first down.
Gray in the shotgun. Jamestown nearing midfield, trailing by 8. The pass the outside. It is caught by Sanchez. Makes his way past midfield, brought down from behind near the St. Joe's 45-yard line. Another tackle for Cam Chin, the sophomore defensive back.
And that's what you want for Jackson Gray. Nice little safe bubble screen. Excellent blocking by the wideouts downfield. St. Joe's, you haven't seen their receivers block really well, too, especially young guys. I'm so impressed by the hustle up top. There's your first down. I mean, if these receivers block for each other, you got a good football team, so that's how you can tell they're well coached. Two guys really getting after it on the perimeter. Wide receivers, they tend to be like, divas, sometimes right in the NFL level, but the high school kids are grinding out.
Over a 4.5-second drive as getting met at the line of scrimmage was Sanchez. Brought down by Harden. Amuka was there as well. Going to be about a 3-yard loss back to midfield here, Rick.
That's a tight bunch. And, man, that Amuka not only tackles you, he knocks the pile back. And when you get knockbacks, look at now you're second and 12, 13. This is tough for Jamestown, especially today. So physical football by St. Joe's defense.
Been almost 8 minutes since that touchdown pass to Gray to Thagard as we now have flags on the field.
Is that our first one of this half, Joe?
Yes.
I know. It was kind of nice, wasn't it? But that's tough because now, what I said, now you're not chasing the sticks for Jamestown. Now St. Joe's, it finally looks like they took them out of their game. And we're right back into Jamestown's hand here. It's not NFL football. It's just 2nd and 12 is a little tougher in the high school level.
This is now 2nd and 8 as Gray looks pass over the middle, screen pass to Bonta. Gets his way to the 30, knocked down from behind, close to the 25. Coming in like a freight train against Stone Rozak.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Bonta had a little giddy up. You see him let you juke the safety there. The nice little middle screen we thought we were going to see in the first half. St. Joe's had success giving it to Kaczynski. Jamestown even more. Great play call, big first down, and they're moving.
Chase Bonta listed at 5'9", 195 pounds. Stone Rozak in the tail of the tape, 6'3", 225. 1st and 10 at the St. Joe's 26-yard line for Jamestown. Gray stays calm. There was a fastball over the middle, and it's incomplete. Nate Sanchez trying to make the one-handed grab. A nice dart from the youngster.
And that's what Coach Langworthy wants out of the young man. And, that's a nice, not expecting a pass there, 1st and 10. They've been pounding. Stepped into that throw and just missed, but he looks solid in the pocket for sure. A lot of zip there.
This now brings up 2nd down and 10 for Jamestown.
Another little wrinkle there. Has the defense have to reset.
And off to Bonta. Bonta goes up the middle, surrounded by a sea of Marauders defenders this time. About a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
Well, clearly we're in 4-down territory here. I don't think they're going to. Well, they could go to the field goal, but this is a really nice drive by Jamestown to come away with nothing. So let's see. I'm thinking 2 runs in a row here, Joe.
This is 3rd and 4 at the Marauders 20. Bonta, the only man in the backfield, on the right hip of Gray. 2 receivers to Gray's left. A handoff to Bonta again. He gets one hit hard, that time by Amuka again.
Yeah. If you see a hit like that or a pad stop or a Bonta again, you know who hit him. I'll tell you that much. That guy is bringing it. David Amuka.
6'3", 215-pound inside linebacker. First team All-Western New Yorker last year, a transfer from Frontier. He has been an anchor of the St. Joe's defense so far, not only today, but in this young season. Here we go, 4th and 2 for Jamestown at the St. Joe's 19. Gray rolls out to his right, makes the pass. It is caught. But St. Joe's with the big stop on the outside.
Speed, Joe, speed. St. Joe's has a fast defense. It looked like a nice, safe little out pass, and that speed just gobbled that right up. Nice little play by Jamestown. Better defense for St. Joe's. Big stop for the Marauders.
Turnover on downs as Jamestown was driving down the field nicely, but they still trail 14-6 with 4:14 left to go in the 3rd quarter. St. Joe's now looking to respond and keep this lead in front. A couple of yards getting to the outside of QB keeper Braden Mans. Once again, getting close to the 30.
Yeah, to me, St. Joe's, maybe they get a little more conservative even. Just do not jump offside. Don't do any holding, nothing crazy here. Just impose their will on the Jamestown defense a little bit.
Here's the snap and getting balled up at the line of scrimmage this time. Owen Kaczynski, it was read nicely by the Jamestown defense. We'll give credit once again to Chase Bonta.
Yep, that was Bonta and the freshman there. Larrick Riches was in there. He's a tough kid for a freshman. You wouldn't know it. Coach Langworthy saw him at one of the modified games with his son is now in 8th grade. He said, this guy's going to be only a freshman. The other coaches were making fun of him, and look at here he is on the field.
3rd and 7 for the Marauders to work with on their own 25-yard line. Still holding on to a 14-6 lead. A motion man, and now the snap. Mans looks, it is complete to Jay Ostrander. Just his 2nd catch of the day, knocked out of bounds into the Jamestown sideline, just past the 30-yard line. Another first down here for St. Joe's.
First down Marauders. Great play by the quarterback there, man. He gets more confident from week to week. That's what Coach Corona just wants to survive these first early season jitters. Looks like he's settling in nicely. At the beginning of the telecast, we thought we were going to see both quarterbacks, but he's clearly taking the reins here.
Handoff up the middle. Kaczynski gets about 1, maybe 2 yards. Able to read this right away. For Jamestown, Luis Diaz, number 31.
Yep, the captain, the tough linebacker. We talked about him earlier. And now at this stage, they need a turnover. You can see the senior digging at the ball. All right, they're having a little bit of trouble getting them, off the field. Turnovers are big.
Man's in the shotgun. Delayed handoff. Kaczynski spins away to his right, still on his feet, and then knocked out of bounds by Sanchez. About a 1-2 yard gain. Could have been a loss of 1 or 2.
Yeah, nice spin out. Again, we were talking about Richards, and that's like he's got to get used to this. This is big boy football now. He doesn't look that big, Owen, but he showed a little shake there, and he's got some speed and toughness. And that could have been a bad loss. Now it's 3rd and 9, so. Just like we talk about with Jamestown, this is a big play here for the Marauders, for their young quarterback. See what Coach Corona's got in store.
Mans takes the snap, the pressure on the outside. He gets the pass. It is caught. What a play from Aiden Gunther to the St. Joe's 45. A jump ball, and Gunther is there. 5'11" and leaping in the air.
Great play by him. He has a first down to go with it. But what a great play by the quarterback. That time Richards came on a blitz. Great call by Jamestown. Mans stepped right in the face of it. And he got bailed out because Richards, instead of finishing through the quarterback, jumped and gave him a little pocket to complete it. Great first down pass.
Fresh set of downs. 2 minutes left in quarter number 3. St. Joe's with a 14-6 lead over Jamestown. Kaczynski goes up the middle, spun around like a rag doll at midfield. Big play defensively from who else? Luis Diaz.
Yep, and that was number 7 that time, Joe. But St. Joe's offensive line's doing a great job. You could see Jamestown doing the stemming, moving the linebackers a little bit. No big deal. They just pounded straight ahead for 5 yards. Great job by the O-line coach there, Coach Rozak.
Second and 5 for the Jamestown 49. A handoff. This time on the carry is Echeverria. Gets about 1 yard, maybe 2. And then Jamestown meets him there. We'll give credit that time to Isaiah Watson in the heart of that defense.
Yeah, it's a slugfest. We knew that was going to coming into the game. Both teams are going to be physical. You could see Jamestown is not giving up, and now it's 3rd and 3 here.
3rd and 3 for St. Joe's.
Big play.
Last minute of the 3rd. One man in the backfield. Man's in the shotgun. He takes a snap, looks towards his right, down, and making the catch, going inside the 15-yard line. Jay Ostrander with a big catch for St. Joe's.
They come back. We saw that play first play of the game. That time they hitched up on the outside so if they could hit the hitch, but the vertical was wide open down both hash marks. That's really tough against cover 3 with the one safety look. St. Joe's with a great play call, and he delivered. We're seeing him grow up right before our eyes. Braden Mans.
Gain of 33 through the air for the Marauders as we are approaching the last 30 seconds in this 3rd quarter. Mans in the shotgun. 2 receivers 2 mans left. Braden looks. Little pump fake, now throws towards the corner of the end zone.
Nice
It's
ball.
caught. Touchdown for St. Joe's. St. Joe's expands the lead.
Money. What a throw on the money. Better was his little pump fake. We saw that play last week. We called it bubble burst back in the day. Fakes just like a little bubble screen, and that corner bites, and right behind him, a dime from Braden Mans.
14-yard score, another passing play for the Marauders. Carter Petrie out for the extra point.
But again, all day to throw. We talked a little bit about that O-line. We thought they'd be able to run the ball, but Joe, with this balance, they're going to be a tough out, and this kicker is just fun to watch, isn't he?
Absolutely.
But, I did mention Coach Rozak, the offensive line coach. Does that name sound familiar?
Yes.
Yes. You have a guy that's in the weight room, and you name him Stone Rozak. He's just Coach Corona calls him a weight room guy, solid. Offensive line coaches like the weight room, so I'm sure he kind of grew up in it, and he's got to be proud of his offensive line tonight. They're having a great day.
Jay Ostrander, only his 4th catch. Check that 3rd catch of the day, and able to get the 14-yard score. The junior, 5'7", 160-pound play. He had a big touchdown in the red zone last week. It is now 21-6. St. Joe's in front of Jamestown with 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Carter Petrie ready to kick this off for St. Joe's. 2 men ready to return for Jamestown.
Well, Jamestown's got to make something happen here, but the trouble is this kicker is going to put it in the end zone probably.
It is short this time. Then a little bobble. Able to track this down to Sanchez. He makes his way to the 15, spins away. And now Jamestown to start this new drive. 18 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
There's some popping going on out there, Joe. It's a tough. That time it was a tough break for Jamestown. I was just saying we could get a good return here. Kind of bounces off the shoulder pads. So with these 18 seconds left, they're probably going to just try to get the quarter and get into the 4th quarter to look for a big play for sure. But how about Braden Mans in that drive? 63 yards, 4 for 4, methodically matriculates down the field. That gives the Marauders bench a lot of confidence. I'm sure Coach Corona's happy to see that, despite the bad knee up there. You could see him. He's in the, right? He's like a little skybox over there behind the bench, but he's got to be feeling better right now.
1st and 10 for Jamestown. Red and green, familiar in the situation going back to last year with a couple of come-from-behind victories. They get a couple of yards on 1st down. We're under 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Red and green have a player shaken up now in Monroe. As we're down to 2 seconds, and that is going to end the 3rd quarter. St. Joe's expands its lead. They're now up 21-6 over Jamestown. We'll step aside for a short break and bring you the 4th quarter action next on Western New York Athletics.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Start of the 4th quarter, St. Joe's with a 21-6 lead over Jamestown. Joe Kraus, Rick Tom, our producer, Jeremy Becker, Mario, and Mike, our camera operators in this one. Jay Ostrander with almost 100 yards receiving for St. Joe's, but for Jamestown, Rick Chase Bonta will shake it up and not at 100 yards.
Yeah, 88 yards, and he's earned every bit of it. He's going to feel them all tomorrow for sure.
So start of the 4th quarter, red and green. Now 2nd and 8 on its own 19-yard line. Gray in the shotgun, empty backfield. Gray looks over the middle, and it is intercepted and caught by Jackson Adia. Gray is shaken up. There is a flag in the backfield, however, Rick, at the 4-yard line.
You know, Joe, right before we went to break, on the last play, there was a St. Joe's defender that kind of fell on the pile, borderline. You don't want to give the refs any excuse. Yep, and we're going to get a roughing the passer. The last thing the Marauders want, you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. This game is ready to go either way. St. Joe's can put the nail in the coffin, or Jamestown is not going to go away. They're going to play hard right to the end. But they're teetering, and when you give them 15 yards like that, that's too easy.
So the penalty negates the interception for Jackson Adia. Another one of the new faces, a junior in the secondary. So now 1st and 10 for Jamestown on its own 34-yard line.
Is that tight bunch that last time they threw out of it? Here comes the counter coming back.
Bonta with the carry to the outside, gets past the 40, stopped close to the 45-yard line. Another big run from the senior.
What a football player. The coaches just love guys like this. He's limping around. Just keeps competing right to the very end. It's fun to watch him play like that. A cool story about Cameron Rowe, 24, who's their wingback. It's the first, second generation guy Coach Langworthy was talking about. He coached his father, Dylan, back in 09. So we're getting old, Coach Langworthy.
Then Gray is brought down. It's another sack for the Marauders. Give it to Davion Becker with the pressure. About a 6-yard loss.
Great play by St. Joe's. They needed it. Jamestown tried to give them a little wrinkle there, and they very disciplined play on the outside. Did not get sucked in at all by the fake.
Officially a 6-yard loss. Now 2nd and 15 for Jamestown on the 40-yard line. Gray in the shotgun.
He's got the bubble here again if he wants it.
Gray takes a snap, throw to the outside. It is incomplete through the hands of Thagard on the screen pass.
Yep, we saw it. But St. Joe's is so fast, it looks like you're outnumbered. They're kind of like, it's like the cheese in the mouse trap. They make you throw it out here. First you got to throw it, then you got to complete it, then you got to block guys. And St. Joe's hustled right out there. Coach Langworthy saw that bubble was open, though.
It is now 3rd and 15 on the Jamestown 40. Gray in the shotgun. Trips to the right. Gray looks towards his left. Little screen pass complete to Bonta. Makes his way upfield. Knocked down at the 45-yard line. And some extracurriculars after the whistle.
Walk away. Walk away. You don't need any extra penalties or anything like this. They're going to get a punt here. St. Joe's is going to get the ball. If you got to take a punch or whatever after the whistle, you do it. Walk away. Good job by St. Joe's with the discipline. The screenplay, I think the ball was on the wrong side of him because he had blockers in front of him, Joe, that he had to cut back inside where there's just too many maroon jerseys. St. Joe's is going to get off the field here.
Here's the punt from Bloomquist. Track down, ball is loose. It is picked up, looked like by the red and green, waiting for the call. And still waiting for that call here, Rick, but what a big hit.
That was Braden Kennedy coming down, special teamer. I don't know what the discussion is here. It looked pretty clear to me that was a fumble, much to the Marauder chagrin, because they're going to get the ball back at their own 30. But here we're sorting it out. We're going to look at the replay, or we don't have a replay on this one?
It'll be Jamestown football, the St. Joe's 32-yard line. We do have a replay.
As we take a look at the replay again, see the hit, the ball pops out, and now it's Jamestown possession.
Yeah, I thought so. It was just a great play by Kennedy. Beautiful job, and Jamestown is in business.
It was 7-6 at halftime, and then Jamestown gives this back to St. Joe's. Here is Deion Cheatham Jr., his second pick of the day, and now flags are on the field.
I think this is going to be after the possession, whatever this flag is here. It's just a tough play right there, right, Joe? I mean, Coach Langworthy's like, okay, we've got a turnover. Let's keep our momentum going. Let's try to catch him here. And another nice play by the St. Joe's secondary. I think it's going to be St. Joe's ball coming out of here.
Just over 9 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter as we settle out the new penalty. Roughing the passer against St. Joe's. And it's going to be offsetting penalties here, Rick.
Offsetting penalties will replay first down.
Wow, what a series.
1st and 10 now again for Jamestown at the Joe's 32.
Did you see the late hit, Joe? Did you see the late hit? I didn't. I was looking up the field.
Looked to be a legal block in the back.
They called roughing the passer, but I don't know.
So
okay.
So here we go.
We're going to sort it out. Doesn't matter. It's Jamestown ball. We have nothing back.
Here is ball is loose again. St. Joe's appears they have it now. Stone Rozak with the fumble recovery. Can't draw it up any better than this, Rick.
What a crazy sequence. Crazy sequence. You got the punt, return, fumble. Then we got flags, negated interception, and then the next play, there's first time all day they had confusion in the backfield. You just think right now is St. Joe's day. If St. Joe's can just put it together here. Face mask. And there was a face mask on top of it. Like, it's kind of a wild sequence for sure.
Braden Mans takes over. Now going, Owen Kaczynski has some daylight past midfield, going down the sideline to the 30 and knocked out of bounds by Thagard. Another big run, no flags on the field. Owen Kaczynski again.
Important. St. Joe's just needs to reestablish their run game. They got about 9:30 here. You know, we'll run some plays, run some offense, gain some more confidence for this young team. And this is where Jamestown they've had a couple turnovers and they give it back. Coach Langer was just getting these guys together. Like, come on, man, let's get it together here and fight to the last. They got to make a play here because it seems like when Kaczynski gets the ball, they're having trouble stopping him.
We are down to 9:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is 21-6. St. Joe's in front of Jamestown in what has been a very entertaining affair. Section 6 Monsignor Martin action as Owen Kaczynski is up to 196 yards on the ground in this one.
Unbelievable because we've still got 9:30 left. So, you know, he definitely wants it. The offensive line want him to go over 200 yards. That's their touchdown for the day for sure, Joe. Coach Langworthy's very spirited. He came up here. Somebody said that to me today. They said, you know, you get Jamestown at 2 o'clock on a Saturday, you're not getting that full team. It's a long drive up. Coach Langworthy wants no excuses. He said these kids are used to driving up here, but it is a long day for them. They got to get up here early, and I'm not making excuses for them. St. Joe's is definitely imposing their will on them, but it definitely does make a difference on the legs.
So 9:36 left in regulation. St. Joe's knocking on the door, 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line.
And St. Joe's, you just want the knockout punch here, right, Joe? I mean, no penalties, no false starts. Get off the football. Do your job.
Want to take a guess who's going to take this carry?
No, you know what I'm going to say, but we've been proved wrong last week, so which is.
Here is the snap. It's a new quarterback, Brendan Keel. He gets a handoff to Owen Kaczynski. A flag is on the field. Brendan Keel is now the quarterback here, Rick, for St. Joe's, a 5'10" quarterback. Mike Corona said that it's going to be a two-man battle. Keel did start the Marauders season opener last week against Cardinal Hayes.
Yep, also a junior. He's just getting some reps here, but I think is that going to get wiped out here? Kind of, you know, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. This is what young teams will drive you crazy. because just when they take control, then they're self-imposed mistake here, and we're walking backwards.
Was a hold on the offense.
So after the holding penalty, ball is now spotted on the Jamestown 32. As Rick just mentioned, St. Joe's trying to put the final nail in the coffin. Jamestown looking for a stop on defense. Here's the snap. Keel looks along the near sideline, going one-on-one. It is caught in the corner by Cam Shin from 32 yards out. St. Joe's with the big one from 32. Keel to Chin.
Coming off the bench and dropping a dime right in the corner. What a pass. I'm kind of cut off by my where we're positioned in the press box, Joe. Did you get a look at it?
It was one-on-one towards the back of the end zone. Nicely placed ball from Brendan Keel.
And I like Chin a lot, so I'm happy for that young man. He's had a great game for them, for the Marauders, for sure.
Former Lockport Lion on the reception. The extra kick is up and good for Carter Petrie. Making our score, St. Joe's 28, Jamestown 6.
Well, that was quick. They got the ball with just under 10 minutes to go, and they go right up the field. 2 plays, one play penalty, 1 play touchdown. So that looked familiar. Now it's going to be a matter of the St. Joe's defense just to shut it down for them. They get Mr. Brightside here.
That appears to be the song now in Western New York. Bills taking on the Jets tomorrow. Your thoughts? I mean, what a crazy game on Sunday against Baltimore. How did the Bills keep it going?
What a win. What a day. Bills Mondays are nothing's better than that in Western New York, huh, Joe? But I'm scared of the Jets. The only thing that makes me feel good for the Bills is all the national media is predicting the Jets to win. So I thought the Jets looked pretty decent in their loss last week, but Buffalo by a billion, right, Joe?
It was a close win by Pittsburgh, and Aaron Rodgers, the new quarterback against the Jets. Josh Allen with a big-time performance for the Bills. Matt Prater, 41 years young, with the game-winning field goal.
From 41 yards.
Yes. And the game-winning drive started with 7 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock, as we have another touchback. Just over 9 minutes left here between St. Joe's and Jamestown.
I think it's our year, Joe, Buffalo Bills-wise. You know, all these numbers are lining up. I mean, come on. It's got to happen one of these years for us. Now Vegas thinks we're going to win. I don't like being the favorite like this, but come on. It's going to be fun fall. But this high school football season is off to a great start. We've been seeing some great games. It's not over yet. Let's see what Jamestown can put together here.
1st and 10 for Jamestown on its own 20-yard line. It was a 7-6 lead for St. Joe's at halftime. Handoff going to Bonta, getting about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Adia and Aduka teaming up on the stop.
Yeah, Coach Corona's going into his bench a little bit here. You know, this is how you keep your program strong, by getting these guys that work so hard during the week. Right now, he graduated 30 seniors, but they still have 150 players in this program. Strength in numbers for sure, and that's how kids get better, by playing them.
Gray takes the snap, and is almost intercepted by Cam Chin. My goodness.
He had a break on that one, and I think he was getting his touchdown celebration ready. He just took his eye off it right at the end, so... Tall order here for Jamestown, 3rd and 6. St. Joe's again trying to shut this one down.
Jamestown now gets back up to the line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 6. Hand off to Bonta. Bumps one way, tries to go up the middle, and then brought down by Amuka. Becker in on the stop as well.
That's the first time today I've not seen Amuka knock that pile backwards. That way, that just shows you how strong Bonta is. And now he's hobbling, where there was a stalemate and he falls sideways, gets his ankle twisted up in there. That's not what Coach Langworthy needs to see 1 week from playing Lancaster, that's for sure.
So we're at about 8.5 minutes to go. Bonta is shaking up. Jeremy, can we take a 30-second break. We're going to step aside and come right back on Western New York Athletics.
I'm George Wiley, a senior at Canisius High School. As the only Jesuit high school in Western New York, Canisius delivers a life-changing education. Canisius prepares young men for acceptance into the nation's finest universities, and our community supports us at each step of our journey. We are proud of our excellent athletics and our emphasis on service. This place is special. Let us show you why.
Experience firsthand the excellence of Canisius High School. Schedule your visit at canisiushigh.org.
Jay Sponta gets his way to the sidelines. Likely won't be coming back on this one. Red and green trailing 28-6 as Drew Boomquist is getting ready to punt once again today. This is a high punt, sailing over midfield. Marauders make the catch, and then a good special teams play from Jamestown's Braden Kennedy. And that is where St. Joe's is going to take over on their own 43. We mentioned about it as we're adding up Jay Sponta's rushing scores at the moment. Jamestown is hosting Lancaster next Friday, 7:05 p.m. kickoff, then at Orchard Park, and then into the month of October with that home contest against Bennett. So Jay Sponta, I imagine, Rick, his day is done. You gotta kind of see the longer picture here, the larger picture.
Absolutely, this is a non-league game. Give your guys a look at what it's got to look like. Try to get your team better against some quality competition, but you want to stay healthy because the games that are going to really count start next week for Jamestown. I think they're going to get a first down here, Joe. It's a really tough thing to teach kids, Joe, and when you're rushing the punter. It's all about angles. You want the kids to not leave your feet. You want them to have their block point where their shoulder pads are going by the punter. So if you do miss the ball, you don't rough them. Easier said than done. Kids see things on TV and do their own thing.
Handoff on a fresh set of downs. This will go to the freshman, Alaric Richards. And we mentioned a couple times here, Rick, about Richards coming in, making a good statement early. How beneficial as a coach is it to have a senior like Chase Sponta as a mentor, maybe just by example for the young guys like Richards?
It's everything, Joe, everything. A team like Jamestown, their seniors are teaching their underclassmen. They're teaching the freshmen when they come to summer workouts. They're teaching the 8th graders when they come to the weight room. It's everything.
2nd and 11 at the Jamestown 39. Richards, one man in the backfield. It's a handoff to Richards. He gets met at the line of scrimmage right away by David Amuka, who is definitely earning his share here on the defense.
He is everywhere, and I don't know, man. You got Stone. Stone is your one linebacker, and I'm changing David's name to Concrete because he does not move. They're always just stopping as soon as he hits you. And the same thing for St. Joe's. When you build this culture up with this many kids, you see guys in the hallway, hey, we're getting to the weight room, hey, we're going to go throw. And as an underclassman, you feel good about it. So Jamestown's going to be fine.
3rd and 12 for the red and green on the 38-yard line. Going left to right, it is incomplete. Sanchez, the intended receiver on the play, and now this brings up 4th and long.
Oh, that was a cool play design, Joe. They said look opposite, and it looks like it's just going to be a rocket, but it was a middle screen. Just couldn't complete it because he was going to have some green in front of him. So now, here you go. St. Joe's doesn't really have to rush the punter. They do not want another roughing call. They just want to get the ball, run some offense, and call it a day. We'll see what Coach Cronin. You can see they're like in punt safe here defensively now.
Bloomquist, another line drive, taking a bounce and rolling its way right on the 30-yard line. Another great punt from Drew.
Yeah, it's great. And they're going to want to improve the mechanics a little bit because they've had trouble. You want to get that punt off in 2.25 seconds, and they're right around there right now. So they're going to want to clean that up for next week because Lancaster has excellent special teams. Coach Rupp will see that. St. Joe's exposed them a couple times. But here we go, Joe. Let's see if St. Joe's can put one together and put this game out of reach for good. It's pretty much out of reach right now as long as they don't turn the ball over or some silly mistake.
Here's the snap. Another handoff and another big play of the defensive line of scrimmage. It is Isaiah Watson leading the charge.
Yeah, and that was Hodgkin also involved in the tackle. And he got caught up on the sidelines. He was the guy coming out, and I got a chuckle out of it because he put himself right in position to that play call. I'm like, they're going to run B gap, but Jamestown was up to the challenge there.
In the shotgun, delayed handoff. Once again, looks like Echeverria on the carry here for JOES. The clock continuing to wind down, under 6 minutes to play.
You know, this is a tough thing offensively because you do want to run the ball, and nothing's harder in football than to run the ball when everybody knows you want to run the ball. And Jamestown that was kind of the battle for them tonight.
Gill takes the snap. Now a QB keeper. A flag is on the field as Keel is knocked down at the 33-yard line.
Ay, what is this flag? A lot of laundry here, Joe. Nice first. It's going to be short. What are we calling here? Some rumblings, maybe a face mask call. But it's interesting, St. Joe's last formation, they have big 42 out here. Billy's plays defensive line, 6'2", 245. If I'm defending St. Joe's down the road and they put that guy in the slot, I am not covering him. They're going to go. That's twice now. They had Stone out here earlier, and they've run the ball up the middle both times, just using him as more of a decoy.
Quick out-of-town update. West Seneca West and Kenmore West tied at 28 with 90 seconds left to go in the third quarter. That contest between the Warhawks and the Blue Devils going on right now on the NFHS network.
That's about a 5-minute walk to Crosby Field from
Yes.
here, Joe. Maybe on our way home, we'll just stop up in the booth, call the overtime maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're doing a great job over there, Jake and Thomas. Here is the throw and a big hit at the 45-yard line. It is caught by Stone. Rozak doing a little bit of everything here.
Yep. That was a great catch by Stone. You know, he's a type of guy that's going to play college football somewhere, and you don't know if it's going to be offensive, defense side of the ball. Does he play on the defensive side of the ball, or this is a nice position for him, tight end, wing. Nice football player for sure.
Keel in the shotgun. It's a handoff up the middle, about a 1-2 yard gain for St. Joe's.
They got Sal Ortolano out there now, St. Joe's, moving some bodies up front. Like we said, you're starting to see some guys sprinkled in. There's nothing like game action, Joe. You know, practice hard but get in the game and get it full speed.
Keel rolls out to his right, now getting pressured. Able to deke away, still on his feet. Gets to the 42, then fires it. Is incomplete towards the Jamestown sidelines. It was 3 defenders, Rick, able to apply that pressure.
He did a great job just getting that ball out of bounds. Did you think the ball was going to come out? I thought
there was a lot of pressure for a moment. He just deked out of there.
I'm like, the worst thing that can happen is for a scoop and score fumble recovery. The way that ball was loose, great athletic play by him though, Brendan Keel.
Keel takes a snap. It's a short pass, and then the Jamestown wall, the front 7, stopping them once again.
It's a nice safe play there, Joe. They're loaded up for the runs. They're just trying to get a couple first downs. They take a nice middle screen play. The trouble is now you got Rozak down, 4:10 left in the game, up 3 scores. Maybe just the wind knocked out him. He's played a lot of reps.
We're going to step aside for a short break and come right back on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve.
You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals.
If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take.
And welcome back. Stone Rozak gets up on his feet. St. Joe's leads Jamestown 28-6. This is Brendan Keel still in at quarterback. He had the nice touchdown pass to Cam Chin at the 9:20 mark of the fourth quarter. Now Joes gets ready to punt. It's a fair catch and tracked down by Thagard. Brendan Keel, Braden Manns, the two men at the quarterback slot. Head coach Mike Corona told us it is going to be a two-man battle until someone breaks away. But they have done a really good job combined stat-wise here today.
Absolutely. And last week we saw Manns to get a little confidence. He threw a touchdown pass, had a couple scrambles against that team. Today that drive was masterful, 4 for 4, and throws a dime in the end zone. Then off the bench, Keel's shown a couple nice athletic plays. He drops a dime for himself. So, it's nice to have athletes, Joe, because injuries are definitely part of the game, especially with their schedule. The Monsignor Martin is a war zone for sure, physical football.
Jamestown now on the 12-yard line. A short handoff to start this drive with Alaric Richards, the freshman, getting the call once again. So Jamestown, we mentioned, they'll take on Lancaster next Friday night. 7:05 kickoff down in the southern tier. And for St. Joe's, they'll be back in action on the road against St. Andrews next Saturday. So as contest still winding down here, Rick, where do these two teams go from here? St. Joe's and Jamestown after this really big non-conference game.
Well, they're both going to get back on. I'm just looking at right here. Alaric Richards hits a whole little different. Before I answer that, Joe, a little bit different, but St. Joe's has done a great job. They're just beating them to the step. You could tell he's starting to put his foot full into varsity football, and he'll get up to speed. But Jamestown is a storied program, won state championships, 94, 95. When it first started in 93, they made it to the finals. Coach Langworthy won it in 2014. So this program knows to win. They went through growing pains last year. They're going to be okay moving forward.
Here is the handoff again to Richards. Gets to the 25 and brought down by St. Joe's.
So that's a nice little confidence boost right there, that simple little run. But they'll be fine next week. You just regroup. You learn a lot of lessons. You look at the film. You correct your mistakes. And, now they make their playoff push next week. So they're going to be fine. Coach Langworth, like we said, they've learned. They had adversity last year. This is just one game against a very good football team.
New first down for Jamestown as we are approaching 2 minutes left here in Kenmore. Gray, shotgun the handoff to Richards. He goes towards his left and brought down to 25. St. Joe's with a bounce-back win here in Western New York. How does this help them move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking. Jamestown's getting a little chippy. You don't want that at the end of the game. But St. Joe's, I'm telling you, we've it's been over in the Catholics. It's been Canisius and St. Francis. In our recent history. And St. Joe's has really just built it from the ground up, as Coach Corona says. He starts with the freshman program. They learn the system.
Richards gets to the outside and gets about a 1-2 yard gain close to the 30.
They learn the system, put together quality wins, get some confidence themselves. And this young team is dangerous because they do have some athletes here. And we were talking about Cardinal Hayes. The New York City Catholic champion has come from the city in 24, 23, 22, 21. Cardinal Hayes won in 23. Buffalo's last one in 2019. That was Canisius when they had 2016, 2014. So Buffalo has had some success. Not recently, pre-COVID they did, and then after COVID, New York City's had it. But the way this league stacks up, we saw a strong Canisius team. Franny's is strong. They got that awesome quarterback. We've not seen him play yet. Best quarterback in the state. And now St. Joe's, they're scary, so they got a lot of dudes. They're big. So it's going to be a fun Monsignor Martin League for sure.
Last 40 seconds of this contest. It's a handoff to Richards again, just past the 35-yard line. Going to be another first down here for Jamestown.
Yeah, and when Section 6 plays it gets more pride for Western New York. You want the teams to be successful at the next level, at the state level. And hopefully Buffalo can pull it off this year, whoever represents the Catholics.
Handoff once again to Richards. Another big hit, that time from Dion Cheatham Jr. 2 interceptions on the day for him in the secondary. As we're down to the last 10 seconds, Jamestown coming up to the line of scrimmage. Clock continuing to go down to 5 seconds. Going to be the last play of the contest. It's another handoff to Richards. He gets to the outside and brought down at the line of scrimmage. And St. Joe's bounces back with a 28-6 win over Jamestown. Owen Kaczynski with 2 rushing scores from 37 and 67 yards out. Cam Chin with the touchdown catch and a touchdown score through the air to Jay Ostrander as well. Jamestown getting the lone score from Jericho Thagard, a 81-yard catch. Jericho Thagard from Jackson Gray, 81 yards back with just over 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Rick, your final thoughts on this contest before we thank our sponsors one more time.
Okay, good football game. Both teams, I give credit. Thank you for playing this game. Our question was answered. What team would last week's experience benefit more? And clearly St. Joe's saw another level last week and gave them some motivation. Jamestown with a nice win. It was a ball game, but then that ball, like we said, you got to get the bounces, you got to get the calls. So they just couldn't get over the top. And good for St. Joe's that they were just, they were the better team. They definitely dominated most of the game today.
Once again, our final score, St. Joe's 28, Jamestown 6. We'd like to thank our sponsors for today's game, starting with Damon University, a private non-sectarian university in Amherst, New York, offering undergraduate and graduate level degrees. Visit damon.edu to schedule a tour today. Richmond Vona LLC is committed to you. Being involved in a serious accident creates a whirlwind of changes. We know how serious the effects of a car accident can be on the victims and their families. At Richmond Vona LLC, we have helped our clients recover over $175 billion. We have the skills and experience needed to handle a full range of car accident claims, including those with multiple parties and catastrophic injuries. Call 716-671-4341 for your free consultation today, or visit richmondvona.com. Logistics Plus of Buffalo. For all of your transportation needs, full truckload, LTL, dedicated, and drop trailer moves, Logistics Plus Buffalo is a one-stop shop. Email Buffalo at logisticsplus.com for your next shipment or warehousing needs. G&G Fitness. G&G Fitness Equipment is a full-service provider of specialty home and commercial fitness equipment. Locations in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Visit livefit.com. Wingnuts Buffalo, located near the Buffalo Airport at 4600 Genesee Street. Dine in or order. For takeout, open Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. through 10 p.m. Visit wingnutsbuffalo.com. SUNY Cortland. SUNY Cortland stands out as one of New York's top public universities, a medium-sized school that offers academic strength across 68 majors, a high quality of student life, and a degree that pays back graduates. And we would also like to thank today Pathfinder College Planning, Dan Cha-Cha Injury Attorneys, 510 Toy Shop and Sports Cards, The Mental Match with Sam Recco, Canisius High School, St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute, St. Francis High School, as well as the Trench Trophy, Lewis and Lewis PC, and Colvin Cleaners. Once again, our final score, St. Joe's with a 28-6 win over Jamestown. Once again with the coach, Rick Tom. Rick, hopefully we get to do this again soon.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. One last, Sam just stopped in for the last stat.
Yes.
Kaczynski, 20 yards a pop.
20 yards a carry.
20 yards a carry. And on the flip side, Bonta held up 4 yards. So that is kind of the script. We talked about both of those guys. We didn't expect that discrepancy, Joe. So St. Joe's is going to hang their head on that for sure. Always a pleasure, my man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us. It was a blast. We didn't have an overtime thriller this time. What happened? It's kind of, we were able to just, kind of go, coast into the parking lot here. But great day. Love talking football with you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Again, this is Joe Kraus signing off for our crew. We thank you all for watching Western New York Athletics.
Okay.